How many accounts you got left?
Two. I've gotten 5 banned. Yeah, I'm on my 5th ban.
Mm,
It's crazy
wow.
work, bruh.
That's wild.
Hold on. What's going on, Walker? What do you want to talk about?
Uh, yeah, I think I want to talk about how Trump's doing so far.
How do you think he's doing?
I think that he's doing great for the Jewish population.
Okay.
I think for everybody else, he's doing trash.
Okay. How old are you, Walker?
19.
So you didn't. You might have been on the cusp of be able to vote. Did you
I
vote?
did vote. I did
Who did
vote.
you vote for?
I voted for Trump.
Gotcha. So you don't like what he's doing so far. You kind of think that he shouldn't have been elected, or um, do you think your ballot should have went in a different direction?
Um, I mean, I would say this is that going back, if I were to change my vote, I wouldn't have voted. I wouldn't have voted for Kamala. But I don't think that he should be in power because I mean, it's clear what he did in the Epstein files, and based on what he's doing right now, I think that he's doing a horrible job. But I wouldn't go back and go vote for Kamala by
What
any
was the
means.
specific reason that you voted for Donald Trump?
I voted for Donald Trump because, like his campaign in 2016. Obviously, I didn't vote then, but it was, um, you know, pushing Christian ideologies, America first, lowering inflation, lowering taxes. And the main thing was just lowering inflation and taxes, and getting things affordable again was one of the main things that he ran on, which is something that I was looking forward to a lot. I haven't seen anything come out of that yet.
Well, let's talk about the Christian values. Um, I mean, this man has used terrible foul language and verbiage when speaking about other people. Um, he's not the sharpest when it comes to his relationship. He's had multiple women within his life. Speaks disgustingly on those women as well. What part of Trump spoke Christian value to you?
I mean,
Oh,
I
the
don't
man
think
said
that
he
he's
was going
I
to
don't think that
hell.
he's Christian
And he said,
anymore.
I
He's
don't think
he's
I'm going
clearly.
to heaven.
Uh,
You sound muffled, Justice. Sorry.
I said, the man said he was going to hell. He said, I don't think I'm going to heaven. Like, I don't think there's any more clear delineation than that.
I agree. I'm on the same page. Trump is
Yeah,
literally Jewish. He's not even Christian. So I mean, he just deceived people to act like he was Christian. He would go to these, pep rallies and talk about Jesus and how the only person more important than me or more famous than me is Jesus.
I mean, he's pandering to the base. You know how it is. I mean, that's what Trump. Obviously, I voted for Trump as well, and right now I'm not too pleased with him as what's going on with the administration. I think what Trump has done, I think he gave us the hokey doke. I think at first, the first couple months of the administration, he started off okay, and then I would say for the last probably 8 months has been sort of abysmal. Um, I don't know what the end game is. I think this conflict is not going to end well for us. I think when you look at the state of our economy in terms of the deficit, our expenditure, inflation, it's a mess. I think we're in the brink of financial collapse, and I think it will happen sooner than later with this conflict. And the longer this conflict progress,
So let me ask you, because
Something that I don't. Oh, my bad, Bill.
no, you're good, Justice. Go ahead.
I was just saying, this is something I don't get. Like, after his first administration, after his first go around, and how inflation ended up after that. Like, why did we think him
but
saying that he was running to make those things better after he was a part of what went wrong with them in the first place?
yeah. I think
That
I
part's
think that's
really
just in
lost
general.
on me.
It's not really confusing. I think if you really look at it, I think C19 was the big factor in terms of what happened with inflation. And when we had to pass
Yes,
this massive
absolutely.
bill, this COVID relief bill, that was a big fact. And prior to that, I would say it was so. He was doing okay overall,
He
you
hadn't
know.
done anything before that.
No,
Like
no,
he hadn't legislatively done anything to change the trajectory we were on prior to that. Like the TCJA didn't take place until 2018. It would have been implemented in 2019, but we already know what happened in 2019. And things kind of skyrocketed from there. He removed the housing regulations, which is why the housing market went wild. Post and after C19. So like again, there was nothing measurably that he did for the economy that was a net benefit up until C19, which a lot of people and a lot of analysts would tell you his policies exacerbated what happened during C19 for inflation, for industry regulation, etc.
Yeah, but
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
So
same
yeah.
again, I don't
page.
I
understand
think I think that's
why
hard to really gauge. You know, I mean, once again, with C19, the world is pretty much shut down. I mean, you look at this.
Shawnee's better with the housing numbers than I am. Um, so I would yield that one to him. But the housing numbers, again, went out of whack because of his removal of certain housing regulations. And
What do you
that was
mean we're
just
out of
one
whack?
market.
I think the housing market was doing pretty well during C19. Interest rates were pretty low. I
Hold on one
think it done
second.
pretty well. I think up
It
until
was
that point, I think that
housing
industry was doing pretty
inventory.
well.
The problem was that so many people were moving and buying homes during 2020 and 2021 that the housing inventory has not recovered since then. So if you go look
What?
at the housing inventory, the active amount of houses that are for sale in 2019 versus now, you're missing like 500,000 houses.
Yeah. But you also have to factor in that interest rates was sub 3%, which made housing
That's
extremely
why.
affordable. And then you factor in now
But that
interest
doesn't.
rates at 6-7% these last
Would you
year and a
agree?
But
half, 2 years.
that's
Would you
why
agree? Hold on one second, Justin. Just a
interest
second.
rates go up because of the lack of inventory. That's
N-
why that happened.
wrong.
What?
The reason. Let me explain this to you. The reason while the interest rates were going up, while Fed Powell had to bring the interest rates up, he was trying to tackle inflation. You have to understand,
Wait, hold on.
yes,
Powell doesn't control housing interest rates, right?
yes, he
Like we have that
does.
understanding. No, he
Yes, he
does not.
does. The Fed chairman does. You can
No.
fact check
Wait,
me on that. Yes, he does.
hold on one second. Bargain. Hold on one second. Bargain. Would you agree that interest rates were low in 2016 in the housing market? Would you
Not,
agree with that they were low?
not during COVID. Not in
No,
contrast to COVID.
see, listen
2016,
to
he
what I
said.
just said. I said
He
2016.
said 2016.
Yeah. 2016, I would say probably were like I don't
They were
know
about the same
fours.
rate. It was
No,
about the
no,
same.
no, no, no,
It
no,
was
no, no,
lower
no,
than
no.
that. It was
No,
very low.
we
Yes, it
had
was very
people.
low for a long time.
No, we had
More,
people during C19 getting sub threes, 2.7,
yeah,
2.8.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was
it was like that in
consistent.
2016
Yeah,
also.
it
No,
was. Yes, it was consistently.
Yes.
Mortgage rates were consistently low for almost a decade, and so the question for me is why was the housing market not able to maintain its stability? Right? If interest rates were 3.5 for a mortgage in 2016, why were there 2 million houses in the market then, and then only 1.5 million
well,
in 2022? And the reason
be,
why that is the case was because there were too many people buying homes, and there was a constraint on the supply chain. That's just the
I,
truth, and that caused
but
housing prices to go up.
yeah, I get it, but you also have to factor in that during C19, there was a lot of cheap money that was pumped into the economy. There was tons of stimulus, PPP, tons of loans. You could go and borrow money cheap. So you had tons of investors borrowing money at a very low interest rate and gobbling up these properties at
Yes.
low interest rates. That
So
factored in as well. So there was
so
that's why I
so
said
who
C19 was the
so
massive
again
catalyst for that.
so who removed the regulations
That's
on loans and lending during that time period that
what.
allowed for people to have access, because it wasn't just stimulus money, right? Like there was a removal of a lot of housing regulations that would have allowed more people to get into the market, as well as corporations
What do you mean
to
more?
get into the market. So, for example, there was a moratorium, and Shawnee, you could fact check me because I'm Ubering, so I don't have the information right in front of me. There was a moratorium that corporations had on being able to buy housing and property or whatever. That would require them to wait at least 90 days for it to sit on like on a residential market before they can even remotely put a bid in. And it might be 180 days, but I believe it's 90 days or whatever. Removing that regulation alone was one of those policies that directly hurt the supply of houses, because the moment that was removed and people started mass migrating, it allowed for people, specifically corporations and specifically affluent people, to acquire property at a commensurate rate, like a ridiculously high rate, right?
What
Just on the basis that they would be able to buy, rent, and sell because they had the capital to do so, and they were no longer required to wait the moratorium period.
Yes, I can understand what you're saying, but just let's think about this. We're at a midst of a pandemic. The country shut down. Economy is at a standstill. You have to loosen up regulations to stimulate some type of growth, and that's what Trump did, and it made sense
But no,
because
no,
if you
no, no.
don't,
He
you would
did
have
that
crippled
before
everything.
C-19. He did that before C-19. Those housing regulations were relieved in 2018, right? So again, when I say, hey, the little bit of policies that he implemented prior to C-19 exacerbated the problem, that is one of the examples of those policies that made the problem worse.
Well, I don't know.
So yeah,
Depends on how you look at it.
he relieved. So in a good economy, 2018, you're saying was a good economy, and in
Fair,
2018, in a good economy,
fair.
he removed regulations. A fair economy, whatever. It was a growing economy, so we could say it was a good economy. It had 10 straight years of job growth, 10 straight years of GDP growth. Like, it was a good economy by all measurable metrics. He relieved regulations in a good economy that once the economy turned bad, exacerbated the problem. That's what I'm saying.
But we don't even have to look
And the reason he
consider that.
removed those regulations was because they were policies that Obama put in place.
We don't even have to really look at that. So let's ask him, right? What? Because I heard what you said when I first came in here. You said he was doing good at the beginning of the year. What's good about creating EOs against the 14th Amendment and shipping people out that shouldn't have been deported? What's good about that type of stuff? Or are you talking about something else?
He
He's not there
teacupped
anymore.
and ran. He teacupped and ran. What's going on, Envy?
Hey, what's up, guys? I am not well versed in housing, so I was just kind of hanging tight, absorbing some of this.
You're good, but
But
feel
but
free
I
to
do
chime in.
think,
There's nobody else here.
yeah. I mean, I would like to. I don't know if this would be a little too off subject, but how much do you think some of the, like you're saying, the deregulations that were happening in 2018 was like by design? Like, do you think it was just like? Do you think it was just kind of like a product? Because a lot of this stuff, for me personally, I might be a little conspiracy minded, but I feel like a lot of this stuff is kind of maybe not fully scripted, but I do feel like a lot of this stuff functions by design. I just was curious as your thoughts on that, or if you just maybe it's irrelevant to the point.
I'm gonna take a page
Real
out of
quick, Justice.
Shawnee's book. Oh, you're good.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Justice.
No, I was gonna say I'm gonna take a line out of Shawnee's book. Like, at this point, well, damn, I lost it. I lost the thought. You go, Shawnee.
My argument is always it's already bad enough. There doesn't need to be a conspiracy associated with it. Maybe, just maybe, these people are dumb as fuck. And so they made bad decisions. That's bad enough. It doesn't need to be any conspiracy associated with
That's
anything
the
around
point.
it.
That's the point, Shawnee. I was about
Yeah,
to say,
I mean,
right?
I
Shawnee
understand
always says
that.
Republicans don't govern. They don't like to govern, right? So they get in and they create policies that help the ultra wealthy for the most part, etc. Those removal of the regulations is not out of the realm of the things that most Republicans do when they get in office. The bigger problem with it is, again, the fact that it it's dumb. Like, there's a reason that we have these regulatory bodies in place. There's reasons that we create legislation based around regulating certain industries or whatever. And we got to see in real time the harm of not maintaining that status quo.
Definitely. I don't think the conspiracy lies within the politicians. I do view them as incompetent, but I view maybe the multinational corporations, NGOs, Silicon Valley, like these are the people that are outwardly conspiring. And they don't necessarily even do it in secrecy. I mean, they tell you what they want to do, and where they want to take society with regard to biometric surveillance and these kind of things. But yeah, I was just curious as your thought.
So, envy. To be fair, I don't even think they understand that they're conspiring when like, it seems like they don't understand what they're saying. And so when you look at
You say
somebody like
politicians
Elon
or like
Musk,
Silicon Valley and like these the
no, like
oligarchical system?
Silicon Valley, all of these people, yeah, all of these people don't realize quite what they're doing. It's not this massive conspiracy. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a couple people that are like Steve Bannon knows what he's doing. Peter
Peter
Thiel knows what
Thiel,
he's
yeah,
doing.
Alex
But like,
Karp, like these
yeah,
guys, yeah, yeah.
Elon Musk doesn't. Elon Musk doesn't know that he's a pawn in the fucking cog to create a particular worldview. He's upset that one of his children is transgender, and that's it. So immediately he went against everything he's ever valued in his entire life.
Yeah, I
He
don't
voted.
necessarily. Apologies, sorry.
He encouraged and voted for somebody who would go against
No,
his number
Shawnee,
one
don't
profit.
give Elon that credit. Don't
So
give Elon that credit. He fucking knows. He may
Elon
not know to the
promotes the
extent, but
old
he knows.
government because he's invested in American money. So he promotes the old
Don't
government.
don't give that stiff arming goose stepper any credit. He knows what he's doing. He may not know
So
the
does
extent, but he's fully aware.
every phony government actor on this panel right now.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. The fuck off of my panel.
See, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of T-Bone. You have to tell me the history behind that. But what we have to understand and what we have to see is that it doesn't always like I said, it doesn't always have to be a conspiracy. I think Elon Musk has said plenty of things where you're like, oh, you're just dumb with money, and you're good at some things.
Yeah.
And it's just very
Well,
annoying to
I
watch.
wouldn't say like a grand conspiracy, but people do conspire against others like that. I mean, I do think the CIA and the like, I think the politicians that are put in front of us, I think these people are actually incompetent, but I don't think the people, I don't think they're the ones pulling the strings. Basically, I think people like Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, and even probably more people that we're unaware of. I think these people are actually the ones pulling the strings, and then we got basically clowns like Cash Patel and
Well, yeah, because you look at Peter Thiel, he bankrolled JD Vance's run for Senate. So he, in Peter Thiel's mind, JD Vance owes him, and because he's VP now, Trump owes him too. Same with all these lobbyists from corporations, big pharma, the IT industry, the gas and oil industry. They all bankroll these candidates' campaigns, and when they get into office, now it's like time to return on investment.
Travis, let's look at. I mean, outside of the pardons for sale, right? How much do they actually profit from this? Because it looks like companies are actually hurting.
Oh, they did.
Like,
So
these
hold on, no,
corporations are
sorry.
hurting.
They did a study. They did a study, and I can find it whenever I get home in a little bit. But this last election combined, I think they put $5.5 billion amongst all the candidates. That's all of them. They got in tax cuts and incentives and kickbacks and shit. They got over like $2 trillion back. So they are making massive amounts of return on investment.
So I'm thinking more on. So yes, tax cuts, but tax cuts are only beneficial if you're making profit for your organization, and doing things like tariffs cut into your profit. Doing things like starting a war cut into your profit. Now, maybe maybe they knew about the war in Iran, and that was always going to benefit Elon Musk, but it didn't feel like that was the case, right? I don't think they anticipated Iran being able to. I think that they thought Iran was just going to flip over like Venezuela did.
I will give
And
them
so,
that no one
go ahead.
was able to read Israel's mind on that, and they probably had no idea of that. I'll concede
Yeah,
to that.
I was gonna say we definitely underestimate Iran's technological like capabilities and stuff for sure. I think we've underestimated them a lot.
Because, like,
We underestimate and overestimate at the same time.
so, like, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say though, this is a little off subject, but still kind of on subject. Is are you guys aware of like the civil suit that they found that I don't know if it was the CIA or the U.S. government basically worked to conspire to kill Martin Luther King Jr. And like I think we know that these people are definitely out here conspiring to take people out that are not within the agenda of, to me, it's building a biometric grid of digital control, AI surveillance. This is where we're seeing the system head, and that's why they would sacrifice their bottom dollar. But there is an agenda that all of these countries are down with, and that's building a system of AI surveillance, control, digital currency, digital identification. Like they're all on board with this, from Peter Thiel to Alex Karp, Elon Musk. They're all transhumanists. They're all technocrats.
I see it a little bit different. I think if you wanted to do that, there was a better way than investing in Donald Trump to do that. And I think Donald Trump is actually the worst person for you to get
Well,
that task done.
the way the only reason I understand your point, but the only thing that I would say is that Trump makes the people like the right wing conservatives who would otherwise be in most opposition to the building of this system, he pacifies them. So the right wing, who like if Kamala or Biden or Hillary were rolling out this system, I mean, we would see the southern states like literally up in arms, but now they're pacified. And they're like, oh well, we'll do it for immigration. Okay, yeah, no, we'll let you roll out the whole militarized police state as long as it's under the guise of immigration. I think he like pacifies. He's like the salesman for it, but for one side specifically. I think during 2020 we saw it being sold to the left, but now we're seeing it be sold to the right in a way.
So the only reason why I would disagree is that we're already halfway there to digital currency, right? I rarely have money in my pocket because my phone acts as a credit card, right? And I can pretty much go anywhere and tap that, right? And so when you talk about digital currency, it's very easy to get there. Why would I petition to have money in my pocket if I don't need it? Right? Like, when was the last time you actually held $100 bill?
No, I mean, you're right, man. I mean, the whole system's being like we are consenting essentially, or at least like willingly participating. I got a smartphone. I'm on TikTok right now. Like I'm willingly becoming a part of this system. So yeah. I mean, to your point, I agree.
So that's where I go. I think it's more than that. What I think it is. I think it is white men don't like having to compete for positions that they feel like they should have had in the first place. And when you add diversity to a space in which these men have to compete, they say, "Fuck this. Let's get rid of the competition." And then that's what Donald Trump is about. Getting rid of the competition for white men. And that means women, that means white women, that means black men, that means minorities who are supposedly coming over here and taking people's jobs.
Well, hold on. To his point about surveillance, though, do you not remember the fucking Ring commercial that was during the Super Bowl? So that's like not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
No, I'm not saying that there isn't a possibility of a surveillance state. I mean, we're up, but there's the thing about it is we're already willingly there. The question is, who's going to create the law to say that they can subpoena your cameras? That's really the only question.
No, that's
Right?
true.
So,
Because even with the Ring thing, it's a you're willingly participating in it. That's how they're gonna get you. They dangle the bait in front of you, and then eventually, like you're
and that was
saying,
always the aim.
And they know ain't nobody gonna sit there for 5 hours reading all them terms of service agreements. They're just gonna click accept to use the fucking thing because they want convenience.
but eventually, to his point that he was saying is, who's gonna be the one to essentially allow it? Because to me, I think the government will do it even without telling. I think by the time they tell us, they've been doing it. But eventually, you're going to see a candidate that's going to say they're going to basically say, yeah, we're going to investigate all of this, we're going to monitor all of this, which they kind of
They
already
already
are.
did tell us though. Like, does no one remember why Edward Snowden is still in Moscow?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But see, here's the thing. But here's the thing. The people that are willing to give away their like their Fourth Amendment right are Trump supporters. So in terms of the surveillance state, Trump is is a requirement there, and I agree with you on that. I'm literally watching
Oh
people
yeah,
say,
that's straight
"Take
up
my
Trump's
fucking
MO.
rights."
Our
That's
whole
Well,
literally Trump's
country is
I
already a
agree.
surveillance country. What do you mean? They already use AI to
It's
surveil
not
on
true.
us. We
I don't
got
know where you
Flock.
got that
Yeah.
idea.
Do you know what Flock
Yeah,
is? Have you heard of
except
Bro,
Flock?
for they're not.
DC is the most surveilled
Wait, have
police
you
state
heard
in
of
the nation
Flock
because it's the
cameras? Do you know
nation's
what
capital.
Flock is?
But hold on, sir, because not everywhere where I live right now,
Yes,
my
they
area
monitor
does not have street
yes.
cams. Most of the businesses don't have outside cams. Like
Yeah, I'm talking
people
about
out
Flock
here.
cameras, not just a business CCTV camera.
No, but that's the shit that Edward
I'm
Snowden.
talking
There
about
are
the
some
license.
things.
They're little cameras with solar panels attached, and they take a picture of your license plate and they track wherever you go. They can track you. They also use AI
Oh
to
yeah,
for
with
pattern
spotters.
recognition, and they'll have some based off certain patterns. They'll have someone come pull you over
Yeah, I
using
think
AI.
we're headed, like, the surveillance state is built. I think we're headed
I was about to
now
say
into
we're
the
already
control.
there.
Yeah, but
We're already
we're
being
headed into the
surveilled.
No,
control. They're ready for the control grid now.
Dude, when you
Like,
go to TSA, they can literally use facial recognition now. If you don't think we're already
no,
but
in mass
that's not.
surveillance,
But that's not mass surveillance, right?
you
And
don't
so when
think
you
they're
talk
using
about mass
that to
surveillance,
create a database? You don't think
no,
they're
so
we
using.
okay, let me give
definitely,
you. Hold
the
on one second.
surveillance
Let me
state
give
is
you.
already
Hey,
built.
buddy, you're silly if you don't
Hold
think
on
they're
one
using
second.
all that to create a database. You're
Let me
just
give you
ignorant.
another example. Let me give you another example. So while Teslas are a good example of helping in the surveillance state, most cars don't have cameras facing you to see what you're doing in your car. In China, they have literal like cameras that take pictures of you while you're driving on the highway, looking at you to see what you are doing.
Yes, we
You have
have
to
flock cameras. I
identify
just
what you do.
explained that. We have
Hey,
flock
can you
cameras that can
please?
literally see what's
Hey,
inside
just
your
slow
car.
down a little bit.
No, because you're
Just
just
slow down a little
no,
bit.
you're
Hey,
not listening
I
to what
need
I'm
you to slow
saying.
down.
I've already said
No,
this.
I
Flock.
hear you. I'm disagreeing with you.
You said
Okay?
China has the same
So
stuff we have. We have flock cameras. They can see
Wait,
inside your
hold
car.
on. If you don't let him
please stop.
finish his response, you don't know what you're
I didn't
arguing.
even
Let
get
him
to
finish
get out
his.
my whole thing before you interrupted me, Travis. So I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't even let
Oh,
me finish.
these young cats,
Hold
man.
on.
I
I
Nah,
gotta
was
admit,
if you
driving,
want
so I didn't
respect,
get
you
full
gotta
hey,
give
sentences. You
young,
respect
were
look,
too. I
look,
don't
I
know
get
what you
it.
mean.
hold
You
on, hold
interrupted
on.
me before I even got to let
I
out my
was
whole
traveling. I
sentence.
was traveling. I may have cut out. If I cut you off, I apologize. It was not my intent.
If you go get on a plane right now and you go through TSA, they have facial recognition. They take pictures of your face. If you don't think they use that to create a database, you're silly. They also use Flock with AI to use pattern recognition, like where you're going, what you're doing. They'll have someone come pull you over just based off what you're doing. Some of the cameras can see inside your car, like what you have and what you're doing. If you're involved in a crime and you go past one of these Flock cameras, it'll know.
And ICE is
You see
just
how you have to say,
expanding this.
but but
reasonably
go ahead.
reasonably the database was already created once people started surrendering their images via social media, etc., and having those
Do you
images
guys have
shared
real ID in
from
your state?
those places, etc. um
Do you know
like
what real ID is?
yeah.
That's
Yep.
the TSA shit. That's the database right there. It's real ID.
Well, Real ID
Yeah, that's
got
what gives
a
them
lot of their
access.
facial recognition.
Yeah.
They got a lot of their facial recognition information again from
Yes.
their collaboration with Facebook, Instagram, etc. They were using those
Or they
metrics
just use the
to
picture on your ID. I mean,
well,
and then when you go
not
on a
everybody
plane, they
has a
take a
real
real picture of you,
not
and then
everybody has
there
a
you
real
go.
ID. This is stuff that's been going back
You
for
can't
over
get on a
20
plane
years.
without a real
Real
ID though. So if you want to get
I'm
on a
not 20
plane,
years. This
you
is
need
this
one.
is stuff that's been going, dude. You got to chill. This is stuff that's been going back for about 15
Well, you're
years,
saying
right?
not everyone
This
has a real
predates.
ID.
Jeez, bro, you gotta chill. Again, this
You're
is
saying
stuff
not
that
everyone has a
predates
real
real ID.
ID.
Shut the fuck up, okay? Like you gotta chill.
But you got to
You
listen.
can't assume what a, you can't assume what a, listen. I don't
That's
listen
literally
to
what you said
children,
is
right?
not
I
everyone has a
barely
real
have
ID.
conversations with children.
Is
Please,
that
like,
not what you
can
said?
can
Just one at a time, bro.
can you please
Is
take a
that not
deep
what
breath?
you said? You said not everyone has.
Can you? All right, shut up.
Can you?
Again, this stuff predates Real ID, right? Real ID is a fairly new requirement, right? This stuff predates that. This stuff is stuff that is this is software and stuff that has been built and relationships with these companies that have been built over the better part of the last 15 to 20 years, right? So, for example, when we're talking about facial recognition in airports, this is something that's been going on since about 2009, 2010. That predates Real ID. That's what I'm telling you.
Listen, when I say the surveillance state isn't a real surveillance state yet, what I'm saying is it is not a situation in which you are being tracked and every single move that you make is being tracked. These systems actually exist in other countries, and we know what they look like. The reality is if I decide to skedaddle from my city, the state doesn't know that I'm skedaddling from my city.
Yes, they do.
They don't.
If you're in a car that your license plate is registered in your name, then yeah, they have flock cameras that will track you wherever
Okay,
you
and if
go.
I get into another car, then what?
Then they'll track that car.
But I ain't gonna lie, yeah,
How will they
that is
know?
false, homie.
I
They can
literally
track
told
you
you.
all over the world.
They do not.
Yes,
Stop
they
it, guys.
can.
This is a
Look up
part. Wait,
Flock.
hold on a second. I
Google
didn't
is
say.
free. No, hold on. Look
Hold on a
up
second.
Flock. Look up Flock. It tracks you.
Hey, I
It
know
tracks
what
your
flock
car.
is.
And it can
Hold on.
see
I
who is
need you
in
to.
the car.
Hey,
It can
Yeah, bro. The
see who
feds
is
can
in the
find you
car.
to
If
anywhere.
it can see who is
hey,
in the car,
Bone.
it
I
can
need you. Bone.
identify
I need you
you.
to give me mod on this one. I need you to give me
You're
mod
gonna
on
have
this
to
one.
let
This
me
is getting
finish a
out of.
sentence so we can have a conversation. You're just interrupting constantly.
You interrupted me in the middle of my
You're just
statement.
saying dumb shit like that other countries have surveillance.
Well,
Like, okay, but
whether he's saying dumb stuff or not, he was talking. You can't seem to have the self control to keep your mouth shut to let people finish their statements, bro. Chill out.
So what the argument essentially that I'm saying is that while there are systems that are put in place that allow for a surveillance state to exist, it does not currently exist. You can move freely throughout the United States without anybody actually knowing where you're going or
you're wrong.
where you are. I'm not going to tell you that that's easy, right? And in most cases, in places like Texas, you very much can move like that.
No.
There are no cameras on the highways monitoring to see who's inside the cars. You can see what these cameras do and what they see. They see blank vehicles to monitor traffic. You don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't know. You need
Police
to
cars don't even
research Flock,
police cars don't even
Shawnee.
have license plate readers in
If
Texas
so,
in
you
certain
don't think
places.
flock cameras are strong enough to be able to see sometimes based on how they're
Hey,
angled? They can
can
see
we,
inside of your car. They
Mr.
can see who
Kalmai,
you are.
Mr. Kalmai, I agree with you, but your argument's wrong still, and
How
you've
is
been
it
talking over
wrong?
everybody.
We are being mass surveilled.
Hold
It's
on
not
for a
like
second, bro.
no. You interrupted
Because
me.
you're
What do you mean? You just hopped on
because
here
the
talking about
reason
Mr.
why is
Kalmai
because your
lawyer.
argument because you're being inaccurate. That's why Shawnee and
No,
Justice are telling you to
you're
chill.
saying you can't go. You can go anywhere in the United States
Yes.
freely without anyone knowing where you're at.
Okay.
No, that's just
You're
not
saying that
true.
Flock uses the cameras.
That's
Shawnee,
what they are.
Flock
Flock is
doesn't.
cameras.
Yo,
Bro, you're dumb as
chill.
fuck.
Okay, perfect. So in Colorado, they use cameras or they use phone
Flock
numbers
is
with
the
any.
license
Perfect.
plate reading
Perfect.
cameras.
So listen to
Yes,
what I'm saying. Listen to the question I'm going to ask
You,
you, and then
cameras with the solar panel.
I agree with you,
bro, can
and then you're triggered.
I listen? I am the host,
You're
bro.
saying they're not
Can you
cameras. They
please?
are.
It's almost like the host was fucking talking, nigga.
It's like I don't care.
Okay, then get the fuck off of my panel, bitch ass nigga.
Watch
Jesus
your mouth,
fucking
Bone. Watch your
Christ.
mouth. Watch your mouth,
God,
I
Bone.
was
I'm
gonna
trying. I'm
say
trying.
y'all should have given an age check too, because I don't know. He sounded young as fuck.
Yeah, it's interesting too because if you just allow people to talk, it will actually give you more ammunition in the context of a debate. Instead of interrupting, like you don't even know what the other person's saying, like let them talk, and then you will get the ammunition that you need for then your rebuttal.
He's
The
saying
problem is
Flock
I
isn't
agree with
cameras.
you.
They
I
are.
agree, bro. I agree with you, but you're being wrong about Flock. I don't know why
Flock
you're
is
being wrong, but you're
cameras.
being wrong.
I mean, you can say it's
Okay,
wrong.
it
It's
has
not. It's
cameras,
okay.
but it has a crossover with social media and your phone number.
Oh my gosh!
There's
So
a
it's
thing called
cameras
a.
plus
Okay, bro.
social
Never
media.
mind. You
Oh my
got it.
gosh! It's
You
almost
got
like
it,
it's
bro.
also
Okay.
cameras.
Okay. So you're saying
I
that
got
Flock
you.
is
Get your point
uniquely
out,
just
Jesse.
facial recognition, but what
They
I'm
do.
telling
The
you,
DHS
okay,
uses Flock.
it's not just facial recognition, which is why
Okay, but
Justice
they
and
still.
Shawnee are saying you're okay.
Just make
Don't
it
worry,
very
Jesse. Get
clear.
it out. I got him.
Just to
Nah,
make it clear, I'm not saying that there are not places that you are going to be surveilled. That's not the claim that I'm making. I'm saying that they are not tracking every single movie. You can move through without being seen. It's not going to be easy, but you can. And my understanding in China, you've got cameras every mile and a half that are monitoring you at any given time. And they're looking at you. They're not looking at your car. They're not checking traffic. They're looking to see if justice is flicking his shorty's beam. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think China's the model, to be honest. I think they're the model for what they're trying to do here.
Yeah, I
Actually,
think if
yeah.
you look at Walmart, I worked at Walmart. At Walmart, they have the facial recognition that he's talking about. So I mean, I think if Walmart have something like that, I'm sure the federal government has something more advanced than them. They're just not going to tell us, just like a lot of things they don't tell us about the things that they have. So I understand that we don't think that our government has the things that they have, or we're not like China, but very well much we could be worse than China, but we don't even know it. So
Yeah,
just be
but
on the.
we
And
know
hold on.
we know
And
what
can
they
we?
use.
Sorry.
Hold on, we no. This is why I wanted to steel man the position. We know what they use because Colorado just lost a lawsuit to a person that they accused of a crime. Colorado had to disclose what they used to identify that person. We actually know what the machinations of the state are already, and it's not that Flock could see her face. It's that they cross-referenced her Google Maps traffic patterns, and she passed the same places. So
Right.
we know through subpoenas and things like that. Not against your point, just to say we do know how some states are using it,
Yeah,
right?
but that's states though. We're
So
talking about the federal government, the feds
right,
that have a 99% conviction rate.
right, but
That's
they have a
so
Why?
you got to
conviction
look at
rate,
that.
right? But they're still also failing to actually get the right person. So one of the many of the lawsuits that they keep losing, like DHS keeps losing lawsuits because it's not facial recognition technology that's proven. They keep losing it because they can prove that that's actually not me. That's
Well,
why
they
DHS
do
keeps
have.
losing in court.
They
I
use
am a
AI pattern recognition.
Yeah, he's right. So I am a tech dude, and they do have a thing called, you can look it up. It's Vertone tracking, and they can track you based off of your body shape, your clothing, your hairstyle, accessories, even your movement patterns. Over 400 police departments use it. Some universities use it, and then the U.S. Department of Justice, of course, use it along with Walmart. This is
Right.
how
Nobody's.
Walmart can
But
Yeah,
find
but
out
you
if
know
you're
what?
stealing
nobody's
Again,
something.
saying that this
this doesn't
system doesn't
refute what
exist.
Shawnee's been saying. It doesn't address like it does, but it doesn't. That
I mean,
technology
he's saying
exists
that we're
now.
not like China because China has way more
Oh, I didn't
advanced
say that. No.
technology and they have way more cameras. But actually, I think, in my opinion, we're worse than China with the technology that we have. They just don't let us know. In China, they let their citizens know, and they have the wherewithal. But here, they don't tell us what's going on. They just do things behind our back.
Right, but that's not okay. This is again. So what I'm going to say again is not going to be addressed because I think that you guys want to do the we can be seen at all times. I get the tech side. I understand. Like I've been there too. Like one of my first jobs out of college was for one of these companies. Right, I get it. But one of the problems that you have then is that we actually can prove what the machinations of the states are because they have to testify about it. It's not that secret. Like the Colorado lawsuits are pretty loud. You can go read the depositions.
Yeah, but
And
you're
then
talking about
like it's like the
states. I'm talking
Doge.
about the government.
Oh
The
my
government
God,
doesn't
bro.
have to
Okay, you're doing the
disclose
same thing he's doing
classified
now.
information.
You're doing the same thing he's doing now.
Yeah, because
Listen
you're saying
carefully,
that I'm
because
talking
the
about
Doge.
states, but I'm
Okay,
not.
bro. Holy shit.
Wait,
Hey,
hold on a second.
hey,
Jesse,
Shawnee. Hey, Doge.
go ahead.
Hey, Shawnee. Are the Doge depositions public knowledge? Have we been able to see
They
how
are.
Doge made the decision? Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you going to tell me that we can't prove what Flock is doing federally based on the cases against DHS?
I'm going to tell
So
you we
both.
can't see this classified information, and that's been
Okay.
a thing since what
One of the
America
issues about
started.
what you're claiming is classified is that it's no longer classified. So a lot
You
of that
can't say,
information
how
is
do you know?
not
Okay, show me
classified.
evidence that it's no longer classified. I would love to see the
So perfect.
declassified information
So did I not
So
reference a lawsuit that you haven't addressed yet?
of
I
Colorado.
did,
I'm
right?
talking
Thank
about
you.
the
That's perfect.
federal
The
government.
federal government has also
Yes.
lost lawsuits
Okay,
for the
show me that
same
lawsuit.
reason.
hold
I'll
on.
It's
look
not
it
my
up.
responsibility for you to go check something that
Okay,
you're
but
making
I'm
a claim
saying if
about.
you know the lawsuit,
The
what is the lawsuit so I
ACLU
can look it
has
up?
multiple examples where
A
they have
second.
already proved.
Jesse, just
ACOU
can I just get a second real
lawsuit.
quick?
Hold
Yeah,
on.
go
So
ahead,
are you
Shawnee.
telling
These
me? Are
guys are
you telling
lost. I
me
don't know why
that
they're
if
No,
the
I want to look it
federal
up.
government were wait, are you telling me that if the federal government were to bring charges against you for a crime in the United States, they can just say it's classified, and when you're at trial, they don't have to bring the evidence and what they used to get there?
No,
Is that
that's
what you're
not what
saying?
I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that they have technology and certain things out here that are classified and they would never let the citizens know. And they use here in America, just like one example
If
is
they
the,
use,
one
hold on one
example is
second.
the jellyfish gun that they were using. And the president made the CIA declassify that information. And now the citizens know about this. But before that was classified, it was only a myth that they had weapons of like that. So that's a prime example of what I'm
But
talking
do
about
you
right there.
understand that the only
So
the
the
only
problem is,
use of a like the best use of a surveillance state is to charge the people that you believe are committing crimes, right? And so if you have to show, hey, this is how I know this person was committing crimes, you would have to show the system in the trials. You would have to say, hey, listen, I saw him he was picked up on this facial recognition here, this facial recognition here, and this satellite tracked him from here. That's how
Yeah,
you
but
would have
that's
to
not how
do
the
it.
federal
You can't
government
just say
works.
it's classified.
But that's not how the federal government works. If they're using classified things, they're not going to go to the court and say, "Oh, we use this classified thing to get this person." They're going to bring up a whole nother reason on how they got you, and they're going to be their reasoning in court because again, they don't
No,
want to
they
let us
can't
know
do
what they're
that. They have
using,
to
which is
prove
Yes.
it.
common sense.
They
Because if we
have
So
to
know,
prove it.
so
then we can do things
so
to deter
wouldn't
from
that
it.
go to
That's what
the
I'm trying to
point
tell you.
of them losing? Wouldn't that go toward the point of them losing cases based on lack of evidence or lack of ability to
No,
prove?
this is why the
well,
federal
That
government has
only
a
that only speaks
99%
to
conviction rate.
that only speaks to Jesse's point, right? They're losing. DHS is actively been losing cases over the last 3 or 4 years
Show me this.
based on a lot
wait,
of
if
this
they're
shit.
This is
losing
not true.
cases, that means they are surveilling.
Wait, no, hold on, Miracle, hold on.
If there's
Nobody.
You're
being
saying,
if
Okay,
there's
so
cases,
wait,
that
yeah.
means they're using
Hey,
they're using the
yes,
Justice, you're saying
surveillance
that the
system.
DHS is losing
so you're
cases?
arguing. Hold on, Mick, call me or whatever. M, call me,
DHS.
bro. Nobody's arguing that point. You're not even on the same point that he's on. So you're saying something that nobody up here has said. Nobody up here has
No,
said
Shawnee
that they're
did
not
say
surveilled.
we're not being mass surveilled.
Nobody said nobody that we're not being surveilled, and you're still
Exactly what he
mischaracterizing what
said.
he's saying.
That is
But
I
exactly
again,
what
your
he
said we
said.
are
statement is
not in a
detracting.
surveillance state.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
specifically what I
You're.
said, and so that's
If we're
completely
being
different.
surveilled, how are we not in a
Can you
surveillance
please
state?
stop
Okay.
detracting? Okay, bro. Again, back
Okay.
to
So, question.
Makes sense,
Can I
Master.
brother.
just answer this? Can I just answer this question for him real quick?
Master,
Does
yeah.
the state have direct access to whatever cameras you put in your house, or is it required for a subpoena for them to have access to it?
Again, are we talking
We're
about
talking
the
about
state or
flock
the
Wait,
cameras,
government?
which are
please
on
stop.
public
Please stop. When
roads.
I say the state, I'm referring to the United States.
But we're talking about flock cameras, which are on public
Why keep
Please
roadways.
stop.
interrupt?
We are not talking about flat cameras. Please stop.
Yes,
I
with
am
that.
asking a
That
very
was
direct
literally
question.
our whole point about surveillance is they use
Hey,
flock and
I
AI,
need
dude.
you
Are
to
you not
answer my
tracking?
question.
Wait, are you
I need
not
you to answer my
tracking?
question.
No, because you're asking something
I need you
unrelated.
to
Of
answer my
of course
question.
your house is different than a camera on a public roadway, boy. Like what
Okay,
are
so
you
my
mean? Like what are
question,
you talking
so when we
about?
This is
talk
a
about
nothing
what a
burger. Shut the.
surveillance state, when we talk about what a surveillance state is, I'm asking you, is the state required to subpoena your cameras to have access to them if they believe that you committed a crime, or do they have access to them
If you
whenever they
commit a
see fit?
crime on a public roadway, no, they don't need to
That
subpoena
is
the
not the question
cameras.
that I asked you. That is not what I asked you.
Well, we both know your house is different
Nobody gives a fuck about this.
Wait, why would your house be different in a surveillance state?
because your house is there's an expectation of privacy when you're on your own property, not in
So
public.
then how do you okay, so what I describe as a surveillance state is a moment in which I can say, hey, we are constantly watching you at any given time, and I have the
Shut the
right
fuck up,
as a
Sassy.
federal
If they
government
really
to
wanted to,
touch
they
that.
could.
God fuck.
If the government really wanted
What
to
does that mean
surveil
when
you
you
from
say that?
inside your house, then yeah, they could.
And they can
Without you
use that
knowing.
against you?
They can turn your TV into a
And they can
microphone.
and
Yeah,
they
they
can
can
use
use
that
like
against you?
Wi-Fi to actually create images with your
Yeah,
like
they can
Wait,
see
hold
router.
on.
you
Yeah,
through
that's
walls with
crazy. They can
Wi-Fi.
use
Okay, we're gonna
Wi-Fi.
rewind real quick. They can use this evidence against you in the court of law?
No, I
It
think
won't be in your discovery
can
that's
if it's
what's
you
coming.
can
classified.
these
And
It's not going to
so
be in your
subpoenas?
that's my
discovery
No,
if it's
not
Shawnee,
yet.
classified.
Shawnee,
If it's
go ahead.
classified, it won't
let's
be in your
engage
discovery.
honestly. Hold on, bro.
Go
Hold
ahead,
on.
just
Let's engage honestly with it. They could, but that requires two things. One is the Patriot Act, right? That would require part of being what's it called, DT, right? You guys know what I'm saying, DT. That's one.
Yep.
Two, any other interactions that they would use is some other version, some other AI tracking of other apps you're using at the time. So, for instance, like a transaction let's say it's part of a RICO case, transactions with Cash App, Venmo, things like that. finding out whether or not you interacted with it through your IP address. There's multiple things, which is why when people say this one app is the king of all apps to do all of these things, we all know that's not true. And the reason we know it's not true is because they have been subpoenaed and they've won and lost cases using what I'm talking about. So when we say
Metadata?
only Flock, okay, bro. When we say something like only Flock can see everybody's face in the car, it's not just that.
I never said only
States
Flock. You're
weaponize-
misconstruing
I
my
know
words.
it's not you. Okay, so even if you're not, that's the hyperbole that Shawnee was tracking because that's how upset you were. You couldn't.
No,
even make
we
a good
were
point 'cause
using
you keep
Flock cameras
interrupting.
as an example
You
for
keep
mass
getting- you keep
surveillance in the
interrupting,
United
and so you
States.
keep
You don't like
misconstruing
it.
your
It's
point because
okay.
you're talking through people instead of to
Well, yeah,
people.
you interrupted before I even got to finish my sentence,
But
like you
your
have been
point
this
before that was already
entire time.
lost.
You
That's
just
why Justice
interject
gave-
whenever you feel
Okay,
like
bro.
opening your fucking mouth.
Okay, bro. Anyway, so besides
So
this,
if
like,
you want to have an actual
it's always a
conversation, you'll have to let
20-something.
me finish.
It's
too.
always a 20-something that hasn't read enough that wants to talk shit to me.
Yep,
But
exactly.
anyway,
I mean, if you don't
one
think
of the
Flock is
issues you
surveillance,
have
then
is
you're
that
just a fucking idiot. It's okay.
There's two issues you have. One is that the things that you're discussing are no longer classified because they've had to be.
I'm not the
court.
one who said it was
So that's
classified,
one.
bud.
Okay, so then let me make my second point. The second
Okay,
issue
so
you have
make
is
some
what Shawnee's
factual
asking
points
is
and
important
just running your dick
because
suckers. Like, holy
okay.
shit.
Okay, cool. Anyway, so those of us with a degree will talk while you go ahead and back on mute.
You don't even
So
you
what
got
we're
a
talking
degree,
about
but don't
here
even
is
got two
really
bands to
simple.
your name. I would shut the fuck up.
Or what? Or
If you
what?
don't got two bands, you shouldn't even be talking. You shouldn't
Perfect,
even be
thank
on
you.
TikTok right now.
Lord have
Anyway,
mercy.
one of the things that we have here is an example of why Doge and those depositions are going to be very important. They're
Dude,
literally
Doge.
telling you what apps.
What does
they're
that have to
using.
do with
Because
surveillance?
part of the Doge depositions and part of the depositions by the DHS, for instance, is explaining to you what mechanisms they're using, what apps. For instance, in the DHS,
Dude, we know they're using
cases in the
metadata as
ACLU,
well. Like
that's
you're just
fine.
trying
So
to.
just talk over me when Shawnee asked a
No,
good
you're
question.
saying
Just
some
talk
dumb
over me.
shit.
It's
Just
okay,
call it
dude.
metadata.
It's
It's
okay.
called metadata. What
Perfect.
you're saying
So
is
even
called
if I don't
metadata.
use- Okay, dude. Go ahead.
I gotta take off. I hope you guys have a good one.
See ya, NB. Be good. See you out here.
We
Later.
get it. They use
Shawnee,
metadata
anyway, yeah,
as
so the
well
probable
as
cause is
Flock and
too high.
AI. And
Yeah, it's getting yucky, and saying that they can just get whatever without winning warrants is really a DHS thing. They're using it for ICE and shit. And
Hey, so
activists,
Jesse,
by the way.
I just looked it up. It says DHS does not fully tell U.S. citizens everything they use for surveillance. They reveal some tools publicly, but many systems
Thank you.
are
So they're not classified.
Hold
Thank
on,
you.
hold on. Let me finish.
Thank you.
Many systems are, number one, classified, partly disclosed, only revealed through lawsuits, only revealed through FOIA
Which is
requests,
exactly what I
only
just
That's
revealed
also what
fucking
I
said.
said. We both said the
only
same thing. You're
revealed when
repeating what we're
watchdog
saying.
groups
Okay,
are
dude.
investigated, so the public gets pieces, not the full picture. Exactly what I was telling
Okay,
people.
perfect. So
And
the
why would the
ACLU
hold on?
already
And why would the
constructed an
DHS go to
argument.
the courts and say we're
Perfect.
using
The ACLU has already
classified
constructed an argument.
surveillance? They're not going to
That's
tell the
perfect.
court that. They're going to
So-
say we got
Still
other evidence to
proving
support
That's
our
fine.
claim. This is
So the
common sense.
ACLU
Master,
has
you're
already
still
constructed arguments that they've won because of what you just described, which was my point, which is why both of you are now putting these things together, even though we were already here, which is why Shawnee is telling you the police state that you guys are talking about, the surveillance state that you're talking about, that's way more widespread.
it's a
is not
surveillance
quite
country,
here.
not a state.
Okay, cool. Okay, so a country is famously not
Hold on a
called
second.
the
No,
state
hold on a second.
colloquially.
Justice.
You're right, dude.
I mean, Jesse,
Jesus
he
Christ.
doesn't know what the state means when you
Yeah,
say
he
it.
doesn't get it. God.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
That's
to
why
watch. And so,
I brought up Colorado, because I thought it was a federalism issue, but now it's turning into a literacy issue. God bless.
so here's the thing that I want to highlight, right? And here's the thing. If the state is required to get a subpoena to do it, I don't know if you can call that a surveillance state.
Dude,
And
we just talked
if
about
you
how they can
call-
turn your TV into a camera and a microphone. What do you mean? You think they tell you that in your discovery?
you
That they
know
turned
how
you think they tell you that in your
what a
discovery that they
subpoena
turned your
is?
TV into a microphone?
What a subpoena
Point
is?
us to the
They have
lawsuit
to
that
if
says
they're
that.
charging you.
Yeah,
They
can
have
No,
you
to if
show
they're
us
no.
the
charging
If
you.
it's classified, they don't have to put it in your
No.
discovery.
Okay,
That's
cool, they
exactly
would.
what this guy was just
It would
reading
have to
off from
be
Google.
okay. It's part of the probable cause. It would also be part
No,
of
you can't put
every federal
classified
case.
stuff in a fucking discovery,
cool.
you idiot.
Perfect.
You
so,
have to
so
if
all
you're
that
being
stuff is
charged,
famously
though.
not disclosed in
No,
court.
because they have
Okay, cool,
probably
dude.
a
Okay,
bunch of
cool.
other evidence other than what they obtained through classified methods or
That's not
illegal
always
methods.
the
And the law
case.
school you went to was called what?
I don't need to go to law school to know
Thank you.
that
Okay, then
classified
that would do
information
it. Thanks.
doesn't go in your
Well,
discovery.
well, that's why his name is Mr. Call My Lawyer Up. He's not the lawyer. His lawyer's not here.
Master, you have to do your best to separate yourself from what he's saying, because
Okay,
again,
hold on. I
same
got you. I got you,
situation,
Justice.
you're saying vastly different things, right?
No, hold on,
You
but
just
listen.
said-
I just looked it up again. It says DHS almost never brings classified surveillance tools directly into court. Instead, they use legal workarounds to avoid revealing classified
Where are you getting
technology.
this
That's what
source?
I
They will
literally
hold on,
said.
stop,
That's
stop, stop.
exactly what
They
I
will
said.
use
Source.
Hold on, stop. They will use evidence, but they will hide the method. Just like I
Show
was
us
saying, you
the
can look this up.
source.
Everybody
Show
can
us
look
the
this up.
source. Show us the source. Where
You
did
want
you
the
get this
source? Bet I
information
got
from?
you.
Yes.
I got you.
I
Reason.com
think this is I think
/blogspot
this
Hey,
is a
by the
pretty
way, it's the
productive
DHS
conversation. What do you guys think?
website, by the way, but I'm gonna get the exact thing for you and show you exactly where I read it. And you
Because you
can
have a
also look it
you
up
know
for yourself if
you
you
do
think
know
I'm
you
capping.
have a right to see the evidence that's been presented
Not if it's
towards you.
classified,
Not
bud.
if it's
How is
classified, and you can
why
look
can you
this up
not
if you think I'm lying. Look it up.
why can you not understand that, Shawnee?
Who told
Look
you?
it up.
Okay, so then my question for you is
Classified
why would why would the federal
classified
government ever listen, stop. Just stop.
bitch, you've been
Why would the federal government
talking.
not just class God?
Let me get do you
Okay, so the question is why would the federal government not just classify all the tools that they use and not tell you anything and just say, hey, trust us and believe us, court system? Why wouldn't they just do that?
Transparency reasons, they're not gonna classify every single thing. They got to tell you
Why not?
something. But the
Why not?
main
No,
because
you're getting me a source. Hold on
because
a second. You're getting me a source. What was the
it's
source?
called trust support with citizens. You got to give the citizens something so they can trust you. You can't just
Show
withhold
me the
every single thing.
source
This is
you
common
have. We're
sense.
looking for the source.
Oh, I
Are we
got you.
talking about a
Like I said,
specific
anybody
case
can look
here?
this
What's
up.
going
This is on the
on?
DHS website. But like I said,
Provide
I'm gonna
us
bring
the
it to you. I'm
source.
trying to
Okay,
figure out how to
cool.
copy it. It's not letting
No,
me.
don't even copy it. No, don't do that because TikTok's annoying about that. But
Oh,
what you
okay.
could do
How do I
instead
do
is
it?
tell us what the headline is because the DHS now just does like tweetable headline. You know how they do. If you want to
Is
screenshot the header, that's fine.
Said that the DHS said we're going to find workarounds with the evidence that we found doing something else. You think that that would stand in fucking court?
Well, yeah,
It wouldn't.
sometimes it
No,
does,
it's not
though,
standing in
Shawnee.
court.
Sometimes it
www.dhs.gov.
does.
Yeah.
But either way, can I give a hypothetical and kind of explain this? So, if you're being charged with something, right? Let's say you were involved in like a RICO case, right? And the FBI wiretaps everybody, your whole family, everybody you associate with, right? You don't know where those wiretaps are. When you're being charged, your lawyers can go to the FBI lawyers and say, "Hey, I want to
it's called
know."
discovery, bro.
Right. So you can discover
Wiretaps aren't
classified ways
classified.
somebody got
Wiretaps are not
surveillance.
classified, bud.
You can't. You could do that with wiretaps, but you can't do that with government classified information. If that was the case, anybody can go in Area 51 right now. By that logic, that doesn't even
No,
make
but
sense.
The
you can
dumbest shit
get
I've ever
Freedom of
heard anybody
Information
say.
Act
Yeah,
documents
if it's
of
classified, you're
declassified
not gonna get
information.
it though. Like, what do you not understand? Wiretaps
So
aren't
what are
That's
some of
not
the,
classified.
always
so what are
true,
some
though.
of the
That's what I'm saying.
workarounds?
Both of you are saying it's
If it's
black or
classified,
white
it's
when
not
it
in your
comes to
discovery.
discovery,
That's
and
just
it's
plain
not
and
black or
simple.
white when it comes to the courts, guys. You guys are trying to make it a black or white. No, there are classified things that you discover in discovery on both sides,
Do you know
and
what
there are freedom of
discovery
information.
is?
Yes, it's when
What
you're
is it?
presenting evidence or you're getting subpoenaed
It's the evidence that the
in
state
terms of
plans on using
investigation.
against you.
Yes, and not all the
Yes.
time is all of the discovery is being used as
So if it's
evidence.
classified, it's not going to be in your discovery because it's not public
Define what
information.
what you mean by classified. What is
So
classified? What do you mean by that?
if the government had a secret plane that they used to track you down and take a picture with you of you, they're not going to show you what type of plane they used. That's not going to be in discovery. They're not going to show you exactly how they
Well,
got this.
unless you're being charged, why does the government have a spy plane on you in the first place? Then you
Oh
would
my
know when
gosh,
you're being
why does that
charged.
matter?
No,
We're talking about
because you need to be
discovery.
charged, and that's how you would discover
So
these
if they
classified
use
things in
okay,
discovery.
if they use the plane to take a picture of you doing something incriminating, then charge you, the plane that's classified won't be in your discovery because it's not public information. They can't tell you that. They can't tell you, oh,
No, but your lawyer would know what
No,
evidence they
because
have
no.
against you and where
Hey,
they got it
bud,
from.
your lawyer is the one who gets discovery regardless. So regardless if it's classified or not, your lawyer is the one who does the job of getting discovery
You're
for you.
right. And you
So
went
you
to
just
which law
proved.
school again? Just remind
No,
us.
I'm not. That does not prove you shit. If it's
Right.
classified,
Could
it's
you
not in your
remind us then
discovery.
how a judge would be able to view
Regardless
that
if you have a
evidence,
lawyer or
sir?
not.
Perfect. So if it's classified, could a judge view it, and why would that not be a violation
Because a judge
of
is
No.
the government. A judge is the
Thank you.
government.
Hold on.
So the
But
judge,
The
guys,
hold
judge.
on. So a judge
Oh,
does a judge have classification
no,
clearances?
no. Yo, I don't think you guys understand how classification
No, we
works.
do.
Sometimes,
We
hold on.
do.
Some
It's
things
They
that
falling
are
don't.
apart
It's
in your
classified.
okay.
minds. You're
Hold on,
panicking.
guys.
It's
Hold on.
okay.
Some things
The
that are
backtracking's
some
fine.
things that are classified, even the president doesn't know. That's how important classified information is. Only the people that knows is the people that are in
It's
the
on need to know
CIA
basis.
or
We
in the
get that.
FBI, the
We
ones
get
that
that.
are holding the classified
Sure,
information.
but the judge that gets to determine using the evidence that both of you just said would be submitted to court.
No, the
to a
judge will not
judge
be
would
able
be
to
allowed
determine
to
that. A
view.
judge
So then
doesn't
the
have more
evidence that you're
power than
saying is very
classified
important and
information.
incriminating
Because by
would
that
not be
logic,
given.
a judge can just say, "Oh, let me go into
Perfect.
Area 51 if I want." By that logic, you're saying
Okay.
judges can do
No,
anything they
it's
want, but they
here's the
But they
can't.
problem.
That's not how that
You're
works.
mirroring
but
your
yes, that
logic.
is
That's why you're saying
No,
I
it's
have a
not. There's
problem. It's
laws
your
and
logic that's
judges
issued.
even have rules they have to abide by.
Master,
They can't just
master, they
write
can,
something
and they
and
have
say, "Oh, we can do
workarounds
this." That's
against
not how that
that.
works.
You're not addressing neither of you are addressing any of the core questions.
We've
Let me ask
addressed
you
it
in a-
multiple times. You
let me
don't like
give
the
you an
already
answer. It's
example.
okay.
I'll give
You
you an
just
example
y'all
from
don't
the
understand how
DHS. Okay.
classification works. That's the
Okay,
problem.
yes. The problem is I do, and what you're telling me is that the two of you don't. So I'm going to ask you again. If it's on need to know only, right? And it's things that should be only referenced in a skiff, for instance. Can a judge who does not have clearance view evidence that you're both telling us is
If they
just
don't
going to
have
be
clearance,
Nope, I
they
just
can't
looked it
view
up.
classified
I just looked.
information.
Everybody
Okay,
can look it up.
perfect.
I just looked it up. It says
That's
no,
fine.
a judge cannot view classified
Perfect. So a
information
judge can't view
from
evidence that's
yes,
considered.
you can look it
Got
up.
you.
You said
Look
they
it
don't
up.
No,
have
it's fine,
clearance,
but
so
this
no,
is
obviously.
okay. Okay, so then let's engage with the idea. You're getting, Mister. You're like, I don't even know if this is like for you because Master, your thing, you are making sense. Mister, your thing doesn't make sense because
Don't
then
like
you're
me, it's okay.
suggesting. I'll tell you why if you listen instead of just like having feelings. Just to think about what I'm saying. If Tony's my judge, what's up, Tony? God bless. If
What
you're my
up,
judge.
Jesse? What up,
And he's gonna
everybody?
say guilty no matter what. Anyway, if Tony's my judge, Shawnee turns in something that he got from an app that's completely classified. You're telling us the government can just use that evidence and show Tony and say, look, Tony, I got this picture that I got through whatever means was necessary. But that Tony doesn't have clearance to know or see it. Because in discovery, by the way, the information being provided there is also going to have to be viewed by a judge if you're going to get a conviction. Which means your premise, mister, would mean that you'd have to have that picture or that video or whatever from Flock, and it would have to be irrefutable. This is why I
No,
told you
because they can
the
show the
example
picture.
in
They just can't say
Colorado.
where they took it from. They can't
Perfect.
describe the plane.
They would. Here's the problem. They would have to. That's
No,
part
they
of the
wouldn't.
rules
That's
of
not
the
how it
process.
works.
Hold on,
Can I
Marcel.
address this real
Guys,
quick,
I see
Jesse?
what he's saying.
I want to address this shit
No, I see what
directly.
he's saying. He right. Jess is right on that. If
Yeah.
that's why in courts they wouldn't even bring it up. They would have to bring some type of evidence. So he's saying if the only evidence they have is that classified information, then most likely the government wouldn't charge you or try to go at you with the crime
Is the
because then they would
picture
have to
itself classified or is
declassify
the
it.
plane
Master,
classified?
that's
Hold
why.
on, Matt. Hold on,
Master,
Justice. Let me do
master,
this
and
real quick, please,
master.
Justice.
Hold
I
on one
got it
second,
real
bro.
quick. Justice, you know I
One
got
second.
this.
1 second,
All right,
Tony.
you
I
got
know.
it.
1 second, Tony. Master, that's why I was saying that you had to delineate what you're saying from what he's saying because you're saying two different things. And he's
I see
just
what you're saying. Yeah.
piggybacking off your points. He's piggybacking off your points and he's wrong.
Yeah, I see, Marcel. I see. They're not just right on his point. Like the government, if they brought it in evidence, then yeah, they and the judge said, "Yo, you brought it in evidence, so disclose it." They're gonna have to by
Can I
law.
say one thing?
That's
Just
by
real
law.
quick. So
Go ahead. Go ahead, Larry.
the picture itself isn't classified. The plane that it was taken from would be classified. So they could still use the picture, just not tell you what exactly they
So
used to
call
get
my
it.
lawyer. I want to address that point directly with you, okay?
Yeah, go
There's a
ahead.
process that all evidence goes through in a trial
Discovery,
called
yes.
No,
We
stop,
talked about
bro.
it.
Stop. No, it's called authentication, right? And there's many parts of the authentication of evidence, including chain of custody, so that you can demonstrate that whatever evidence you've gathered hasn't been altered prior to presenting it to trial. Judges take this very seriously.
Yep, that's
There's
true.
also a part of there's also a part of any trial that allows any defendant to question any witness or any evidence that's being presented against them. So if there was a pilot who flew a plane and took a picture of you, you have a right to question that pilot in court.
Right,
And if that
but
pilot
they
is
don't
not
have to say
available,
what the
hold
plane
on, call it.
was.
No. Well, but then if you are caught lying in court, that's perjury, and that
It's
evidence will
not
not be
lying
used
to
against
not
you. Well, no, because
not
if
lying
you
to remain
claim,
silent.
if you claim that you
But go after
didn't
Tony.
use a piece of technology in obtaining evidence, and you could later prove that that was false, then any evidence presented by that witness would not be accepted by the judge in court, right?
So the
And
picture
and I want to help you with this because I think you have a valid like suspicion, because there are times when there's evidence presented in court and there's lies about how it was presented. Like, I'm not saying this has never happened, but you do have the opportunity to verify and authenticate all evidence in a trial. But any evidence brought against you, you can't just hide how you got it. You can't.
And
The
so,
judge will
Tony,
not allow that.
So it's not
Tony,
hiding how
wait,
you
hold on
got
one
it.
second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'm gonna restart this back to the claim that I made. You cannot have a surveillance state if there were rules that are required to access the information that you're talking about. And there is not a situation in which they can watch you through your camera without, I mean, through the camera on your TV without them having permission from another branch to do it in the first fucking place. That's number one. And then number two, if they did do it and try to portray it as something else and they were found that they were lying, guess what? That entire case gets thrown out of the window. So even if they are watching you, they can't use that data against you unless they have a legal right to obtain that information in the first place.
Which is
We
what the
have
master
the
said, they
amendments
work around it.
we have the amendments that exist in the first place.
Right, then they
What are
work
the
around it.
workarounds? Master needs to describe to us what the workarounds are, and he has to explain how that works. Because
So
wiretaps are put in place by judges. You say, hey, judge, can I have the right to go into this person's house because I have believed that they're committing these crimes? And you have to have actual proof that they're under this
can I give you
suppression
an
right
example
that
of
they have.
when the
Yes,
government did
give me an
this?
example.
All
Give
right,
me an
so
example.
when they caught the guy who was running this dark web shop, basically, so they were watching him. They knew what he was doing, but the way they were watching him wasn't exactly legal. But they knew he was doing weird stuff on his computer, so they caught him at the library one day and took his computer, and then they got all the evidence they needed, regardless of what they were.
Oh, see, what you're
Yeah,
saying is bullshit. What you're
that's not
saying is
bullshit.
bullshit.
Look
That's
it
not how
up.
that
You
went.
can look it up.
That's not how that went.
You
They
can
didn't
look it
just
up.
He's
arrest
talking
him
about
and just.
Ross Albright, the Silk Road founder, right? That's who you're talking
Wait,
Yes.
about?
Silk Road?
Yeah, I got you.
Dude, but they were investigating him for.
Yeah, and
That
they were
wasn't just
investigating him
random.
illegally
That
until they
wasn't
took
just.
his computer, which they didn't need to remotely view his computer
So
anymore. They took the whole computer,
Well,
which already had all the evidence on it.
that's
I ain't
not
gonna
true.
lie.
So that was the
They needed to
That's
workaround.
not
verify
true.
the money because no, part of that case was he was attempting to order a hit, take someone's life, right?
Yeah.
And so they needed to verify the means at which he was using, like the money, the crypto he was sending to the people to try to get people taken off. So that's why they took his laptop, because it had the evidence of the crypto payments.
Yeah, but
Oh
they
my
already
God! It's
knew.
almost like what he said. It's almost like how he set this up was not an ulterior motive. The reality is that they were pursuing somebody who tried to take a hit out on somebody. So it wasn't like they were just like, I'm gonna follow this guy until he commits a fucking crime, and we're just gonna steal his shit. That's not what happened. They had probable cause to take his laptop in the first fucking place. What are you
Because
talking about?
he was first being investigated by the DEA before the FBI got involved. Because because that was his main thing, was before it was a whole bunch of hits, it was mostly just schmug, right? Like delivery systems in the early 2000s for illegal smuggling.
Yeah.
So the DEA was already investigating him way before that, way before he got arrested.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I do concede on the point that we're like police state like China, because when you do the research, China has 360 million cameras. That's one camera for every 4 people. Over here, we only got 70 million, and majority of those cameras, 70 million cameras, are private business owned. And for you to get those, you would need to get a warrant, or like the old boy said, a subpoena.
Right, but wait. So
So go ahead.
this is the issue: the collusion between the state and private corporate interests is fascism. That's quite literally the definition, right? And so one of the issues that we have, or that I have, with the claim that the state is just kind of using it and doing whatever.
Right.
They aren't just doing whatever. Actually, a lot of times the corporations and private companies are just saying, yeah, sure, here. So for instance, anything on Signal, right? Different app, to a whole other thing, right? If the CEO there caves, all of the things that were chats that have to do with anti ICE protests,
Right.
it's over for those people. That would be a better example of a violation than telling me that Flock can just see you through your, like, the examples that are being given don't meet what Shawnee and even what Justice was saying. And one of the issues we have is classification, sure, but they're actually, like, DHS is now being held accountable because some of the deportations that are happening
Yep, that
are,
is
or
true.
even the detainments, they're losing in court because they're saying, how do you know that this person should be detained? And they're admitting and showing behind closed doors the thing that you're saying is classified, and the judges are saying, cool, I'm not taking this. We're having people getting acquitted here, guys. We're having people like walking out with no grand jury. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
We watched. Wait, Jesse. We watched a
Joy Reid
man
did a
hit a man.
Joy
Hold on
Reid
one
did a
second,
whole
Justice.
article.
I promise. It's just a second. Just a second. I promise. That we watched a man hit an agent with a fucking sandwich, and that person was acquitted because they could not provide enough evidence to prove that he was guilty. We all saw it. The system in the federal government is not as competent as you might think they are.
Yeah, the
We
ICE is
watched
losing
the
funding
whole
and stuff right now. Yeah.
Joy Reid did a whole case on, or a whole podcast on how they were like essentially taking people's Chat GPT searches to like put them in an immigration ring. So if you were like asking Chat GPT like immigration questions or about
Ah, damn.
status or things along those lines or whatever, they were taking the search history, and DHS was using that to literally ground start their investigations on certain people,
Isn't
That's
that
illegal,
illegal?
right?
What's illegal about that?
which is why they were
Because
Gave
you
which is
information to
can't
why they
you
Chat
were
can't go
GPT.
losing the
through
cases,
you can't that's
which
a
is why
warrantless
they
search.
which is
So it is
why
illegal.
they were losing. Jesus fucking Christ, bro, you have no
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
self-control.
just
Like,
clarifying,
no, shut the fuck up, shut up. You
bitch.
don't need
Shut
to
your
clarify what I'm saying.
drink some
Okay, that's
pop.
why you're losing your ability to speak right now. Okay, so that is why they're losing these cases. If anybody could ever finish a statement before this, I was about to use your arbor word, Bone, but
Yeah, justice. But so you're saying that they were obtaining the information illegally and then using it against these people? That's crazy. I thought you were saying the chat gave them the information.
It's both. So here's
no,
here's the
they're illegally obtaining the information,
right, but
and then they're trying to yeah, go Jesse.
no, yeah, well, Justice, it's both things, right? Because the one case that you're talking about, somebody they got somebody and they checked the person's phone to get the WhatsApp chat. Remember that? It's a mom.
Oh
It's like a
yeah.
soccer mom. So what Justice is saying is one thing, but the steel man, Mister Call, even Mister Idea, right? If you really wanted to steel man it, you should be arguing that the corporations themselves need to go ahead and figure out their own version of a First Amendment protection. That's what the argument should be, but it's not that because we're busy talking about Ross Ulbricht and using that example, which is
We
not even
were
a good
already
example,
off Ross Ulbricht. I don't know what you're talking
right?
about.
But
Can
But
we
I can
wait?
explain. I can
yeah,
explain what I was talking about with
no,
that.
you're fine.
Can we
You're
be?
fine,
They
actually, though. You're
illegally
good.
hacked his server, which
They
was one of
didn't.
his arguments. But the
It's not.
government found that the main evidence was still enough to convict him.
Yes, because again, but
So
this is
they
why I'm telling you
still
there's better
did
examples.
something illegal,
Okay,
which was
no, they
Yeah,
hacking
didn't.
but
his server without a warrant.
that's
It
the
was
point. Is that it is illegal. That means
That
if
was
it is
exactly my
illegal
point. I
in a
don't think you're listening, fat ass. Holy
we.
shit.
Oh my God, he thinks your PFP is you. Everybody,
okay, so
count it. God
yeah.
bless.
So again, the thing that I'm
No, I could just
highlighting
tell you're big.
is that if it is illegal, you think I'm big? Take a
Yeah.
wild guess. If you can guess my weight, I'll send you
Don't do
$5.
it,
I swear to God, I
bro.
will.
Don't
No,
even.
no, no,
I don't
no.
need your
Go
$5.
ahead.
Fuck,
If
I
you
look
can
like
guess
a
my weight,
fucking
I'll give you
panhandler.
$5 right now.
165.
Okay, then
Just drink some water, bud.
maybe you should shut the fuck up, then, you
No, bitch, I
clown.
don't shut the
But
fuck up
listen,
for
That's just
bitch.
funny, guys.
so like I was saying,
I don't shut the fuck up for
golly,
no females.
it's just clown shit. It's just clown shit. So like I was saying, you cannot have a surveillance state that can't use the surveillance. Right? They have to if they can't use the surveillance against you, is it really a surveillance state?
They
The
did use
reality
it,
that
and then
we
they got
the
sued for
reality
it.
is that okay, so if you can sue and say, "Hey, you got this information wrong," why would you
No, it
not
wasn't that it's
see
wrong. It
that
was
as
that it's
oh my
illegal, you
fucking
dumbass.
yes, nigga, that's the same
So the
shit.
information's not wrong. It's just illegal.
Shawnee,
And
you gotta watch using that
and
word.
was he
Like
acquitted?
Bone just hold on, y'all. Shawnee, you gotta watch using that word. Bone literally just
Yeah,
lost two
yeah.
back-to-back accounts
I
for
was
using
there.
the N-word.
I was there for it. Yeah,
Good
you're right,
word.
Vaughn. My bad. Hold on
Good
a second.
word.
So, I just want to be clear. I just want to be clear here. What I consider a surveillance state is them taking pictures of you and going, "See, you did this crime. You're going to go to jail. You're going to serve the time." It's not a situation in which they say, "Hey, I think he might have committed a crime. Let's look at these places to see if we saw him commit a crime." Those are two different things. Like, do you know how our system works? Do you know why we have a due process? Do you know why the state must show that you have committed a crime
The
and show them
Constitution.
how they came to this point? Okay, so then what you're saying is we're not currently in a surveillance state,
No, I think we are.
but we're going
We
towards it.
just disagree. It's okay. Yeah.
No,
No,
hold
you
on.
just don't know what these
Yeah, you're
words are.
deciding you're bending the definition because you don't like a thing that happened,
No, we're
but you're
surveilled.
using an
We
example.
are
Hold
actively
on.
surveilled. I
Okay, that's
promise we
fine.
are. It's
Sure.
okay if you don't believe
Let me
it. But
concede. It's okay. Let me concede. First of all, there's two things I could tell you. One, most of us were alive when Patriot Act was sold to us and told we were going to be fine in our like teens. Okay, I was like 14 and they were like, "No, this is good actually." And I was like, "I don't know, bro. It sounds kind of weird." Okay, so I'm with you. I'm actually on your side. I was on your side until we started talking about the minutia, the stuff that you should know before you make your position. Okay? The
no, we
issue
are
with
being
your
surveilled. I don't need to
the
know
issue
anything else.
right, but the issue with your position is that all applicable examples by using Ross Albrecht instead of any of the RICO charges that have been working against like organized crime, some of the stuff that we had to do to get M13, the group that we keep trying to chase
Oh,
out of El
my
Salvador,
reason,
those are
my
better.
example wasn't good enough
No,
for
you're
you.
no, here's
Boo
why. Okay,
hoo.
bro. Here's the reason why your example is bad. That guy didn't just have one agency on his ass. He had a
That
bunch
doesn't
of
make a
agencies
difference.
on
They
his ass.
illegally hacked his
And
server.
okay, so when I ask you this question, I expect a perfect answer. Are you ready now that you want to talk so
Go
much?
ahead.
After that lawsuit, was he acquitted? Did he get
No,
a
no,
pardon?
because
What
I
happened?
explained why not. Because the
Hmm.
court had said that the main
Hmm.
evidence, regardless of them illegally hacking
Sure.
his server, was strong enough to convict him, which if you
Hmm.
were listening, you would have heard that part.
Sure. Well, I couldn't hear it over the other dribble and the crying you've been doing. So I want to ask you now.
Or
Can you
maybe the
give me?
muting or
Could you give
interrupting.
me? I don't mute, so I'm not
Like,
a
holy
knob.
shit.
You can keep crying. It's okay. So here's the problem. The problem with the Euro claim is that isn't what the court found. The summary
That
you
is.
just
I
described
looked it up.
doesn't include the fact that the submitted evidence beforehand from the DEA was the DEA evidence the main part, or was it the other? Was it the financial crimes? Which one was it?
I don't know. I'm talking
Perfect.
about
You
how
don't
they
know. Thank
illegally
you.
hacked his server, which
They didn't illegally hack the server. They got
they.
a snitch. It's called a CI. I mean,
So if
I'm not
you
even a
hack
cop. This
someone's
isn't that hard.
server,
So one of
if you
the
hack
issues that you
someone's
have.
server without
So
a
one of the
warrant, is
issues
that
that
not
you
illegal?
have. Okay, one of the issues that you have
Okay,
is that
thanks.
what
No
me and
answer is
Justice just
fine.
described is what's going on. Yeah,
It's not
just
illegal to hack a server without a
no,
warrant?
not if there's illegal activity inside. They have probable cause. It's the same thing
No,
as the
that's not
active
how it
warrants.
works.
It's the same as a judicial warrant. That's what I was saying. See, bro. See if you calm down and listen.
Well, it was
Exactly.
on Tor browser, not on
Yeah, but
Microsoft
here's the
or Google.
problem. Because of there is no real protection. It's like a house, okay? If they know something's willingly happening inside of a house, they can issue two different types of warrants, and they may not need one if they know something is about to occur inside that house. They don't really need a full warrant to, for instance, if you barricaded yourself inside, close off the street. They don't really need a warrant. They know you're in there barricaded and you're about to hurt somebody. They treated the internet in that way. This is why I asked you, this is why I know that you might be too young to know this era. Because this era for us in our 30s and older, we literally had to watch them go, oh, we don't know what's happening on the internet. It looks like they're having too much fun. It went from that to let's just start arresting people. And now we're at a point where I agree with you. Flock is a big problem. Masters already told you. We both have agreed about the classification issue, right? We don't really know what else they're using. They don't need to disclose that. But one of the
That
problems
was
that you have with
Master's
your
point.
argument, right? But one of the problems with your argument is that the example you gave isn't just not strong. That person was actually committing all of the things and then got a pardon and was begging for a pardon essentially for those things that he did. And he said loudly, yeah, I did them. It's cool. The better example, if you really want to steelman your argument, would be to use any of the DHS cases since. Any of the immigration ones. They're tossing them out. We're talking about people that are coming back from countries where they were deported from. They had to come
Okay,
back
that
from
just helps
unpaid
my
leave.
point even more, though.
It would if you actually read and listened, but you don't do those things. I don't
You
know
guys
why
have
you
been
don't.
saying it anyway, that they're being sued for illegally obtaining stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
clearly
the
illegally
format by
surveilling
which
people.
what you're describing is not the illegal activity we're describing.
Oh
The
my gosh.
disconnect is from one place only, and
You're
it's just the
saying they
wires in
are
your brain.
receiving lawsuits for surveilling people illegally.
He doesn't get it.
No, I don't. I don't get it. No, it really makes no sense. I don't think we're exactly like China or North Korea, but we are being surveilled. I don't think we're being like there's a camera every block, but we're being surveilled. So it's okay to surveil you illegally as long as you can't be held. Come on now, bud.
Nobody said it was okay, which is again why the
So it's still
cases are being thrown
surveillance.
out
Sorry, guys.
in
I had a
court.
phone call.
Nobody said it was okay, which is again why the
So it's still
cases are being thrown
surveillance.
out
Sorry, guys.
in
I had a
court.
phone call.
Right?
I'm back.
It's still surveillance.
You're good, Bone. This dude still doesn't know how to regulate his emotions.
I just want to say real quick because I saw part of the mute earlier, but like, because my guy, I hate when people do the muting shit. But you gotta let the conversation flow, bro, or else people are just gonna get frustrated with you, and then people are gonna play the mute game with flow, bro, or else people are with you. Just
Yeah,
like
they're getting
try
frustrated
to let it flow.
because they're getting frustrated because I'm saying we're being surveilled, and then they're like, "Oh no, we're not," because they can't use it against you. Like
Calm
what?
out.
No, we're
No,
I
they're
want. I
saying
want
that
to
we're
help.
not a
you
surveillance
I want to
state.
don't
help.
have the
That's
regulation to
what they're
shut up.
saying.
But Bone, I'll be right back. Bone, I'll be right back.
Yeah,
Marcel, they're saying
calm
we're
out.
not a
I want
surveillance
to
state,
help
which is
you.
correct.
Like feel a little bit better. You know, because I feel you. I don't like being surveilled and shit. But I'll give you an example. Right? I had a restaurant and someone got shot in front of like on the block. I had cameras in front of my restaurant. Right? And the police came a couple of days later and they was like, yo, do you have the video? Now my thing is on like a 3 day, so I only keep 3 days worth of video. And I was like, nah, I don't got it. And they just left. They didn't subpoena me. They didn't like threaten me. They didn't say you better turn over all your equipment. So they were just like, oh, you don't got it, we're out. And so like, I mean, maybe one day in the future it'll be more sophisticated, but right now it's like you don't really gotta worry.
Well,
You know?
it's your cameras, you own them. That's the difference. So you can say no, you can't view the
More
footage.
serious, like they could have put pressure on me to like
They could have. They
maybe
can
turn
lie to
over
you and put
hard
pressure,
drives.
but you
And, you
can
know what I mean?
ultimately you can say no and they can't do anything
Right,
because
but in
you
China
own the
you can't do
cameras.
that. In
So
China,
when the
if you're a
flock cameras
business,
are state owned and they're government cameras, that doesn't matter. That's out the window.
right? But then China is different. If you own a business in China and the government says, "Yo, give me your cameras," you got to. There's no
Yeah,
in or
I'm
buts
not
about it.
saying we're exactly like China, but we're being surveilled. Was my point.
Okay, now we've
And if you
bombed down
can't
over
say
this
we're not
experience.
being surveilled, you're just dumb.
No, we
It's
are
That's
we're
okay.
not a
fine. So
surveillance
then,
state.
even if it
Absolutely.
is, let's say it is. Let's say it is. Okay. Do you think that the surveillance occurs more on a wide scale from the state or from corporations?
Oh, I think they work together.
The
Okay.
question was direct. Please give him the answer.
No, I'm cool.
Please.
I gave my answer. You
Corporations.
don't like it, fat boy. It's okay.
Jesse,
It's okay.
The
It's
answer to the question is
Jesse,
the answer to the
he was
question
okay with
is
my answer.
private.
He didn't dispute my answer.
Jesse,
So
the
just
answer is
let
private.
him keep
Just in
going.
case,
yeah.
I'm an adult and I will answer the fucking question. The answer is private.
No,
There's
Right.
they
65
work
million.
together. The corporations and the government work
That's
together.
fine. Okay. So
Marcel,
here,
there's 65 million corporate
right.
cameras and only about 10.
Right.
They
65
work
million
together.
corporate
Right.
cameras and only about 10 or 5 million government.
Yeah, but
But they work
because
together though.
there's hold on. They can because the corp like I've said before.
Government.
Yeah,
But they work
because
together.
for and this is where again you lost everybody. I don't know why.
Well,
But
then you brought up metadata, which would tell
it's
me if they're using
right.
metadata, they're clearly cooperating with corporations.
That's okay. But when you used your example of Flock earlier, you misspoke about Flock and its collusion with the other groups, which
What did I
Master also
misspeak?
mentioned.
What did I say that was
Okay.
wrong?
Okay, I'm just gonna.
What did I say that was
Anyway,
wrong about
so
Flock?
the way that you're describing Flock, the way that Shawnee had to say, listen, they're not going to identify everyone in the car. Remember that we were talking about how crisp the video can be? While they do have advanced technology for the camera and the license plating, one of the other things they can do that Master can speak to, especially if he's on the tech side, because I was on a very basic tech side and we could geo-block people's tweets. That was way early. That was like 2013.
So where does that make me wrong? Because I didn't add that extra
Right.
information.
It's not even that you didn't add the extra
Oh,
information.
yeah.
Like what?
The way that you're describing is for surveillance state. In the way
It's
that you
for
want it to be
surveillance,
said,
yeah.
right? It's surveillance, but without consequences, right? You're saying that the
No,
state
they
can't
can
release it.
if you're okay,
Perfect.
so
you're
if
still
you
claiming
commit a
perfect.
robbery in your car and they have the license plate, every time you pass a flock camera, it's gonna alert local law enforcement to come pull you over because you're
Right.
flagged.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Yes, that is for an actual license plate.
Yeah, that's what
Where
Flock does. It tracks your car
perfect.
and your license plate, and
So
depending on how they're angled, they can also see as far as
I don't think he
inside of
knows
your
how a
car.
license plate
Are
works
you
or
well,
just
he
why
gonna
we
even
keep
have license
interrupting, or are
plates.
you gonna
I
let me
don't think he
finish the
understands
sentence?
why license plates
but
exist,
Shawnee,
Jesse.
it doesn't, Shawnee, it doesn't matter anyway, because if you would take the time. So here's my thing. I'm not gonna keep arguing because there's just not really an argument at this point. When you want, if you want to fine tail what you're describing, you're really outraged by this. The case in Colorado has a contractor from Flock that he has a disposition. He describes everything. One of the things that he describes is that he believes that at the state level, it's not just verifiable, it's usable, and then they also cross-reference some lady's social media data, her Google Maps, for instance. So the collusion between the state and the corporations, even though you won't admit that they both,
I
I
said
mean,
they work
you're
together.
saying they
You
both work
didn't. You
together.
didn't
You're
have a
not saying.
conflict with
I
that.
got you. Well, I don't. I actually. I agree, but I'm in a different. You're
Together.
saying they
You
both work
didn't.
together.
You didn't
You're
have a
not saying
conflict.
position. Like Shawnee will tell you, I'm actually not probably on the planet with you on this one.
Well, if
But
they
one of the
use your
things,
if the government uses your metadata, then they
yeah,
have to cooperate with corporations because that,
sure,
like Facebook, for example, that has a
hmm
lot of metadata that they would probably be
perfect,
interested in. So then the
right,
government would have to cooperate with that corporation to get that
right.
information, right? Okay, so where am I wrong?
No, okay. So there hasn't
Hold on
been
a second,
there
Jesse,
hasn't,
before you
yeah.
go, because I do have. I'm gonna go for a second, but I just wanted to be very clear. There was a situation where there were people who did a pew pewing in San Bernardino, and there was a whole thing about Apple not allowing for the people to get into the phone. This is a action in which the state, the surveillance state that you're the people to get into the phone. What you're talking about was not able to get a corporation to give them the evidence that they were looking for to get into their phone. And Apple was very adamant about not letting them into their phone. Do you remember that, Jesse?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
a
Yeah,
remember that.
choice.
They
yeah. It
said
was the
that if they
same.
allowed that, they would have to allow anybody to get into their phone.
Exactly, exactly. But here's the problem: Meta teaming up with Trump, teaming up with Altman, teaming up with Musk, whoever, right? That as its own little axis is the thing that probably is a little more scary to me because private entities are now arguing also that they should be able to basically have their own private courts. So, like the libertarian dream
Exactly.
of having their own privatized court system, we have a country where that's not possible because of the Constitution, right? In the event that you really want to question like where the power is coming from, it's not just that it's a police state. The corporations themselves, which is why Shawnee said an adult decision would have been one or the other. The corporations themselves have a vested interest in basically privatizing it all. That's the other. The corporations themselves have a that's where my main critique for you is this whole thing where you're like it's a surveillance state but they don't really use it but they do collude sometimes but you can't prove that they collude sometimes because you think that it's classified
I
but it
never
can't be
said they
used
don't use it. They do use it,
right.
which is my point.
Yeah, but you can't be correct about them using it when the type of
There's
example you
literally
gave
you
is
can go
Sam.
on the news and see where
Okay.
DHS uses AI and Flock to track your
All right,
driving
Okay,
all
patterns
right.
and
I'm a
pull
everyone,
you
holler,
here
over
we
y'all.
if you're
go.
I'm
doing
a holler,
something
y'all.
suspicious. They will come find a reason to pull you over if AI flags you.
Okay, dude. Enjoy.
So what do you mean? They
Happy
use
Sunday.
so you're saying that I said they don't use it, but they collude sometimes, but this and that. No, I think you got what I'm saying
No, that's
construed.
your yeah,
No.
enjoy.
So what
Yeah.
do you mean? They
Happy Sunday.
use it, but they collude sometimes, but this and that. They
No, it's
do
not
use it.
misconstrued.
You're
You
saying
don't
that
you're
I'm
not
saying that they don't use it, but they do. And I've
holy
gave
shit.
you examples
Okay.
over and over and over on how they do use it to surveil you and they act on it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think that you're
I want
thinking
to hear
yeah,
more about what he's like. Yeah, hold on. Explain
he's
to me.
close,
So
Tony.
what
Because
is?
Tony, he's close. He's very close.
Okay, so
I'm
if you
telling
want to
you.
hear about it, Tony, so
Yeah.
DHS close to the usually close to borders and stuff. They'll use Flock with AI integrated to track how you drive and where you go and what you do. And if you're suspicious, they'll they'll use Flock with AI. If you're suspicious, they'll tell local law enforcement to come find you, and then they'll find a reason to pull you over, and then they'll pull you over and see if you have anything and see if you have anything, like see what's going on.
Hey, Marcel, did you
Saying
know
like.
that
Oh, go
insurance
ahead.
companies paid certain governments and companies to allow people to drive erratically so that they can get into car accidents?
Go
Insurance
ahead.
companies paid certain government erratically so they can get money.
I don't even know what to do with that one. That's
Yeah, that
crazy.
would be so that would be an example. So what you just described is a better example than Sam Albrecht. That's all I not even my critique. The thing I would give you, you really want to argue this better or even argue it in a way that makes sense is one, stop being so emotional. Two, use that example. You want to prove collusion? The insurance companies if they use it for medical data too, Master, right? They use it for medical.
Oh, it's
They don't
even
care.
worse than medical. They will
it's
prescribe you
worse.
random stuff just to get you on stuff to pay, and the insurance works with everybody to pay it. That's why the insurance. Yeah, it's crazy.
The strongest lobby.
It's
They don't
even
care.
worse than medical. They will prescribe everybody to pay it. That's why the insurance.
So if you really want to make I mean, not that I think you're good at this. I think you should stop debating, frankly. But if you want to make it the strongest argument possible, I would use not the Silk Road guy. And literally anybody.
I mean,
else.
I don't think it matters either way.
Well,
The point was
you don't care and you're not good at this. Yeah, no, I get why you think that.
No, you've been telling me clearly you're not really listening, because everything you say that I'm saying is literally the opposite of what I've actually said.
Okay, dude.
Because
Anyway,
first of
enjoy
all,
your
you said,
Sunday.
"Oh, the
Master,
government."
you gotta follow. I'll talk to
You
you
tried to
later.
say that I said the government
Kid's an idiot.
doesn't use it to
No.
surveil you,
So
but I
look, Marcel,
literally said they do.
this is what they're saying. Their point is that it's not the government, it's the corporations that's the problem.
They work together. What do you mean?
Yeah, but if the corporations went away,
Regardless of who uses it, it's still surveillance, though. So I don't see the
yeah,
point.
but I'm saying I believe I kind of on that side, because I believe the reason the government is even doing stuff like that is for the corporations, because I know that even if they're surveilling, they're not going to get a lot of crime, because crime makes money. Look how much money prisons make here in America. They're not going to allow us to stop crime. They're not going to get a lot of crime because they're not going to allow us to stop crime so the prisons can stop making money. There's a lot of private prisons, and a lot of people own private prisons, and they make a lot of money. And if you mess with their money, they will money. There's a lot of private prisons, and if you mess with their money, they will come after you. Just like the every corporation and field you can think of, Microsoft to the internet, and if you mess with their money, every corporation and field you can think of, Microsoft to the internet, to what's going on right now overseas. We got Lockheed and Martin making trillions right now. Like, yeah, overseas. We got Lockheed. Like, yeah.
They left me up here, huh? All right, shit.
It's more than just surveillance we got to worry about.
See what you did, call my lawyer, man.
I made them mad, man. They got their panties up in a bunch.
Nah, you did good. I just think, I know, like, they kind of think.
No, they were being disingenuous and acting like they don't know what I'm trying to say. It's okay.
Yeah, I know what you were trying to say. Like, I was agreeing with
someone wants to be right and someone has to be wrong.
I know, like, they kind of think what you were trying to say. Like, I was agreeing with
someone. I get it.
I got you. I mean, I'm hearing you, but I want to get at what you like. Your suspicion is okay. So let's say I'm in a neighborhood where there's high crime.
I get it.
I got you. I mean, I'm hearing you. Where there's high crime, and I leave that neighborhood and I get pulled over because I was in that neighborhood because Flock said, "Hey, he's highly likely because he came from this neighborhood. Pull him over."
Right? I mean, just going to a high crime area puts you on a radar to law enforcement. I mean, they don't need Flock to know that.
Yeah, but nah, Marcel, I think it's deeper than that, because like, I got pulled. I looked at them. The officer made eye contact.
Law enforcement. I mean, they don't need.
I got pulled. I looked at. And then when he pulled me over, he said, "Yeah, I got an eye for crime." Whole time he didn't find nothing. So I don't know. Did AI tell him?
Your argument is police discretion is questionable. I'm with you on that shit too, because they don't even need technology to really fuck with you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they just look at you like, "Oh, he looked like a criminal. Let me go get him."
Discretion is questionable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they just look at you like, "Oh, he looked like a criminal. Let me go get him." That's where it get messed up.
Yeah, my whole point is we're being surveilled. I literally had no other points. That's why, I mean, it's frustrating because I feel like we all have agreed that we beat. Yeah, my whole point is it's frustrating because I feel like we are surveilled. Everyone literally agreed that we are surveilled, but then they want to still say I'm wrong. So I just don't get it.
How did that
Do you think it's preventable?
No, we're already in the age of technology. We're so far advanced. I mean...
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I'm at too. I don't even know.
We're eventually going to end up like North Korea. I mean, that's just how it is.
Think so?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, hopefully, because there's certain constitutional protections that will keep us from, ending up like North Korea. Hopefully, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but
yeah.
I mean, I think there'll be a lot more flock cameras in the next 10, 20 years. I think they'll be like everywhere. And they're on public roadways, so it's not like, oh, there's a limit to how much you can surveil in public.
Or you think they're just gonna make smart cities and can really control it?
Yeah, they probably are. I mean, I believe they probably already have smart cities.
Oh yeah, they do, but here in America, not yet. My theory is that anybody that's I would say in the low class here in America, not yet. In the low class basically, if you're poor, they're gonna put you in these places where the food's gonna be very cheap. Everything's gonna be cheap. Everybody's gonna be able to afford everything, but the materials in these places where the food, everybody's gonna be able to afford everything, but the materials gonna be cheap. The food's gonna be lab grown, easy to make, steroid stuff. It's not gonna be real. And then they're gonna have another side with all the people with money. It's gonna be lab grown. And then they're gonna have another side. It's gonna be kind of like what's that movie? Hunger Games. It's gonna be similar to that. The districts and all that. And then you got the capital. That's how it's gonna be kind of like what's that movie? Hunger. All that. And then you got the capital. That's how it's gonna be, but on a large scale, without the games.
But I mean, they kind of
All that. And then you got the capital. That's how it's gonna, without the games.
But I mean, they kind of already do that. Like,
Yeah.
not with the food, but like, so
Hell yeah, with the food, McDonald's.
they disrupt certain races and stuff by
Yeah.
not with the food, but like
McDonald's.
they disrupt certain races and stuff by depending on where you live and how much taxes the place you live in pays.
Yep.
That determines how good of a school your children go to, how much taxes the place you live in, how good of a school your children go to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they already do stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's gonna get worse to where.
Yeah, that's my point. It's only going to get worse because we're only going to advance in technology. So
Yep,
it's just going to be easier.
And I feel like they already got the technology and they got the game plan. They just laying it out. They already got the
Oh,
plan.
they for sure do. The government's, their technologies, they're like 50 years ahead at all times. So what they have now, like what you can see out in the world that they have let you see is not nearly what they have.
Facts.
Like
And
they
it's
have
crazy.
way crazier shit.
Think about it. In 1900s, we were riding horses, or 1800s riding horses, and we went from that to driving. Facts.
Like,
And
they
it's
have
crazy.
way crazy.
1800s, we were riding horses, and we went from that to driving Bugattis to flying aircrafts to, like, yo, come on now. Looking at television, like, yo, I'm a code. Like, think about how coding works. A screen, a bunch of images are formed from words and numbers. Nobody really thinks about that. Like, all this stuff is made from words and numbers. Like, y'all just are formed from words and numbers about that. Like, all this stuff is made from look into the information. Like, how did they curate a computer GPU? Who just woke up one day and said, let me put this together and make this, and boom, now we got a computer. It doesn't make sense. My theory is reverse engineer, but everybody got their own opinion about it. How did they together and make this? And boom, my theory is reverse engineer, but they even get the surveillance cameras. Like homie said, 50 years ahead. Who's giving them this edge?
For real.
That's my question. Nobody can answer it. Who's giving? Nobody can answer it.
Computer architecture?
No, I'm just talking about just anything with like technology. Period. How did it come about? How did the electric grid get created? Like, that's so complicated, bro. If you go try to build a air conditioner or electric, like lights and the whole system, like that shit is really complicated. First of all, a CPU is made from a rock. You have to melt the rock and then put it on this and do this, and like it's a whole technical. And you need a microscope to do it. Like, yeah, come on, bro. Yeah.
You know they teach you this shit in school, right? They teach you how computer like architecture was developed. And
I think his point is like they had this.
You know they teach you this shit in school, right? They teach you how.
I think his point is like they had this technology before anyone ever knew.
Well, how did they do it? Wait, hold on. Did they teach this in school? Then tell me, because I want to know. Because they ain't teach me.
His point is like they had this new.
Well, how did they do it? Wait, hold on.
Got you. So there's a dude, John von Neumann. He made the first computer, right?
Right, I know John Neumann.
And there was a woman called Ada. Got you. So there's a made the first computer, right? Called Ada Lovelace. She made the first programming language, but that was before mechanical computer. She was using like first programming mechanical computer. She was using like I would say it was for an electric computer. She was using a mechanical computer with like punch cards and shit.
Right.
Like it all comes from trying to do computations as fast as possible, and then increasing the complexity of computations you can do in a certain amount of time, and to do complexity of computations you can do. And it's like really smart people trying to outdo each other. And I'm not, and I think you're going towards how it's applied, like by governments, right? But all this is like research on trying to advance our ability to be more accurate, and creating like a lot of this came from also the space race, like trying to build machines that could accurately navigate space, and so they needed to develop systems that could do large mathematical computations with certain amount of accuracy. But then it also goes into um, like a whole other problems that we were trying to solve in society. A lot of it was competition with other countries. A lot of it is goes into developing weapons and shit. But I mean,
But that's why my question is: how did these people come up with? Let me put these symbols, letters, and numbers together, and then when you put these together right correctly, you have to put them in the correct order, or if not, it's not going to work. Then it creates an image, and it shows a program, and it shows a picture. It creates basically a whole inner technology world. So that begs the question: are we numbers and letters and symbols?
now you getting philosophical now.
I'm trying, bruh. Hell
Hey, they
no,
don't
because
know. I mean, hey, if you look up a man, Stephen Wolfram, he'll say,
I'm trying, bruh.
hey, if you look up a man, hey, the universe is a big computer.
Yeah, it
Now he
is
hasn't
the
proved it
Earth.
yet,
Yeah,
but it is a theory that the universe is discrete, down to the smallest, like even element of space is discrete, and that the universe is discrete. In space is discrete, and it's all computable. And there's other things that he has about the universe branching and then merging back together. That's how you get the multiverse. And there's multiple universes. And there's other things that he has about, and there's multiple universes. I mean, this is wild shit because it's all theory, but I think this is what you're asking about. But they don't know, like they don't really understand how a lot of shit works yet.
yeah, cause bruh, you really look at it, bruh. Like hell, nah. I don't trust. Cause if you want to be technical, bruh, we went from hell, nah. I don't trust, bruh. Nothing to something in like a fast amount of time, and we just know the history based off of what they tell us, not what we seen in our subjective reality. So I'm just saying we got to start doing our research and seeing like off of what they tell us, not what we seen. Doing our research and seeing like, okay, how did these people come up with this to even form this and do this? And then it put two and two together and be like, oh shit, what? That don't even make sense. They told us this, but this is coming out to be this. To even form this and do this, it makes sense. They told us this, but this is coming out to be this. You see what I'm saying? So we got to just start doing our research, bro. That's
Hey,
all
man,
I.
you sound like a young man, a young curious man. I listen. Follow your interests, bro. That's all I got to tell you. There's a whole world of shit that a lot of smart people work on. Curious, man. I listen. All I got to tell you. There's a whole world of shit that a lot of smart people work on, and stay curious about it.
Facts. Yeah, we in the matrix, buddy.
Quite positive. It's a possibility. I ain't gonna say we're not.
Yeah, it could be all kind of stuff. They know dimensions and how to. Yo, like you could look this up in space. Basically, technically, in space, you can go in the future. Y'all can look this up, bro. If you think I'm capping, bro. In space, basically, y'all can look this up, bro. If you think I'm capping, bro. In space, you can go in the future. Look up. Can you go in the future in space? And the first thing you're gonna see if it's Google AI, it's gonna pop up and say yes. And you can click on any article and it's gonna explain
Think
it.
it is a theory that if I mean I don't know, but this is all right. So if you can travel,
The article and it's gonna explain
think
it.
it is a theory faster than the speed of light, then you can. Is that what you're saying? That you could potentially go back in time if you could travel
No,
faster?
I'm saying like in space, like like if you're in space, time is different up there. So a lot of people, it's not like a strong thing. Like you're not gonna be like outlive everybody because you're in space, but it's like a millisecond faster than Earth in space.
So you're basically in the future in space, technically. A millisecond. So you're basically in the future in space, technically.
Okay, yeah. So gravity distorts time, right? So
Yeah.
so what they say is, and also the speed at which you travel distorts time. And those things, speed and gravity, are related. And so time slows down closer to more massive objects, but also like as you travel, like the faster you travel, time slows down closer to more, like as you approach the speed of light, time slows down. That's why you say like wild shit when you go into a black hole, you'll see the person fall into, as you approach the speed of light, time like wild shit when you go into a black hole, the black hole frozen, right? But the person who's in the black hole, they experience time differently because of the amount of gravity that's in the event horizon of the
Oh
black hole.
shit, that's crazy.
I mean, I'm not an expert. This is just what I have heard in the YouTube scientist type shit, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that shit crazy, bro.
I'm not an expert. This is just what I have heard what you're saying.
We in the crazy times. Host.
Host might be busy. We got Bell with us. Bell, what's up, Bell? We
Both
put Bell to
open.
sleep. No one can let people up on the panel. Hey.
Oh, they think.
I'm mad at all my people. I saw all my people up here. They left me, man. On a Sunday.
Nah, fact. They think.
I'm Sunday.
Nah, fact. Damn, bro, this shit crazy to me. You gotta. They doing this dirty.
Sunday.
Nah, fact. Damn, bro, this shit. They doing this dirty.
What was going on before I got? Because y'all were getting into it when I got up in here. Y'all was going crazy with the surveillance shit.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I just
On before I got, because y'all were getting into it when I got.
like they just be arguing about shit. I don't know. I just be coming in stuff, just trying to hear people out, and then once I hear them out, I try to just put them down on the real knowledge. But most people don't want to hear that shit, twin. That's the problem. On the real knowledge, but problem. Like I feel like,
Yeah.
bro, people, bro. I don't know, bro. I just look at life like coding, like everything's like a computer, and you got just like on the internet, you got some real people and you got bots. A lot of people like coding, like everything's like it's like on the internet, you got some real people and you got bots. A lot of people be bots, bro. Like they brain is literally. I feel like no. Don't get me wrong. I know we got a soul. So if we got a soul, then we could believe in the religion and all that. But on our body side, it's literally then we could believe in the religion and all that. But on our body side of it, how we genetically formed is coded in numbers. So our brains are coding in numbers. So it's DNA and all that. That's wiring. So if you got a how we genetically numbers. So it's DNA and all that. That's wiring. So if you got two computers, one is wired correctly and the other one not wired all the way, then one's gonna glitch, not work. The other one's gonna work perfectly. So two computers, one is wired work, the other one's gonna work perfectly. So I'm not saying people are perfect, but it's got some people that just
Hey, I would say a lot of people.
the other one's gonna work perfectly. Some people are perfect, but it's got some people that just
Hey, I would say a lot of people are not wired up right. I mean, I would say nobody is really wired up. Like, we're all different, and I think that's by design. We're all meant to be different. We're all meant to think differently. I would say nobody is really. That's by design. We're all meant to be different. That's the beauty of life.
But see, I don't think so because I think that a lot of people. There's a group of people that understood the world and they took control and advantage of that early on to where they can manipulate and because think about it, it's like a program. If you understand how AI and all this works, you can tell AI what to do and how you can control it. And if brains are like technology, you can technically do and you can control it. You technology.
you can technically program people's brains. So you can put information in people's brains that are not true. And you can look this up. The government has been found to do this, putting information in people's brains that are not true, and you people's head that are not true. Like you can literally make something up and just like the whole time it's not true. And they did studies on this, bro. Like scientists, they studied this shit too, and like yeah, and up and just like they studied this shit too, and like it's crazy, bro.
No, I feel you. I mean, so what you're talking about is manipulation and control. I mean, between me and you,
It's crazy, bro.
no, I feel you. I mean, between me and you, there are a lot of tools that have been used to control large groups of people. Not to get too offensive, I think religion is one of them. That's not to say I don't believe in God, but I think what we're told about our, higher power is really
It's
used to
false.
manipulate us
Yeah,
into
that's a
behave in
fact.
certain ways, controllable.
Yep.
I think, if some real shit, I think the secret of, all that shit, I
That's a
behave in
fact.
certain ways, controllable. Some real shit. I think the secret of, all that shit, I don't even know if anyone knows it. If they do, they're not telling us because they rather tell us shit to keep us in line.
Yeah.
They're not telling us because I
1000% agree, because you got to think about it. Crusades, they use the religion to have wars. Like, no,
Yep.
like that's not so. And then to this day, they still do it. But at the other hand, though, the religion doing that, manipulating your people, could be good if you do it in a good way. And I think that if you look at the tiny hat community, they do that. They manipulate their people, but they do it in a good way.
Damn, son. Well, I'm not gonna do that.
If you look at the tiny hat community, they do it in a good way.
Yeah, but what I am gonna do is this whole holy war shit fucks me up. I don't know how any Christian could be told that their God wants this whole holy war shit fucks any Christian could be told that their God wants them to fight a holy war. And if you read the Bible, and nowhere in the Bible God tells you to fucking fight a war.
That's what I'm saying.
So anyone telling you that you're fighting a holy war is not speaking for God. And you got to question who are they speaking for?
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. It just depends, because you could, like I said, the other community isn't. I'm not bashing them, because
But I'm not putting it on the. I'm not gonna put it on the community though. I'm not gonna do that, bro. I don't do that.
No. It's not. It's not a bad thing, because I think that most
people put it on the community though. I'm not.
People should be like that community, because if you look at their community, they're strong. They're very strong, and the reason they're so strong is because their religion, they follow it so straight, so they basically are on point. Versus like with us, our community, like specifically black community, we don't have like a metrics, like we don't have a religion to follow. We don't have like a code of conduct as black people to follow. So we just doing all kind of stuff, and they manipulating us so easily. A religion to follow, we don't have like so we just doing all kind of stuff. Versus if you got like some code of conduct to follow, it's gonna be harder to manipulate those people, because they already manipulated by a good code of conduct. You see what I'm saying? The follow is gonna be harder to manipulate a good code of conduct. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of see what you. Yeah, you
like they
that.
took back then. Black people was not doing, bro. We was wearing suits. We were greeting proper, on point. We was not doing what we was doing now. All this wine. Black people was not doing, bro. We was wearing proper, on point. We was not doing what we was doing now. All this YN stuff. We was not doing that, bro. They manipulated us over time to now we doing this. You see what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of that is there's a whole history.
Manipulated us over time to now.
Well, a lot of that is a whole history of our community being fucked with by certain elements of the government. Our community being elements of the government because of the people at that time. Just they had their own biases, or they had their own flaws in believing of who was better than others, and certain people not mixing and all that type shit. I don't know where that comes from. I never really understood it, as in all that type shit. I don't know where that comes from. I never really understood it as a person. I don't think like that. I don't think about separating people based on where you were born or what you look like, or your skin color or how you speak. I feel like we all, if you separate people based on like, your skin color or how you really believe in faith, we're all God's children, no matter what God you believe in. We're all created by a higher power. Every life is valuable. and no one should be put, no matter what God you believe in. We're all created by is valuable, and no one should be put above anybody else. So I don't even know how you begin to think like the way some of these people. It just don't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
I do. I understand it. And you got to think, what are we talking about? They're manipulated. Even them
It
are.
just don't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
I do. What are we talking about? They're manipulated. Has been so manipulated over, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. I was in a live, and the live was like, like who is the problem? And has been so manipulated over the live, and the live was like, like who is the problem in America? A woman came in
That
there.
shit is crazy.
She said, men are the problem. A YT man came in there. He said black people are the problem and Muslims. Like I feel like people are being manipulated into, like, YT people are manipulated into hatred, and it doesn't matter who it is as long as it's not them. Women are being manipulated. People are being manipulated into, like, YT doesn't matter who it is as long as it's not them. Women are being manipulated into not liking men. They looking at men as scary and like, oh, da, 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 like, you know what I'm saying? And you got, they looking at men as scared. Black men not liking other black men. They'll rather go at their homie rather than going at the real opposition. Like, it's crazy, bro. It's the manipulation. Everybody's manipulated, and
Yeah,
get their homie rather than going at the real manipulated. And
yeah,
you got
yeah,
people that's
yeah,
manipulated in a good way, and you got people that's most of people that's manipulated bad. In China, they're manipulated good, even though everybody manipulated. And
yeah.
you got people that's most of people that's manipulated good, even though everybody looking at America tell you, oh, they're communist, they're so da da da. Their manipulation is good because they wake up early. Everybody is on one accord. Is good because the corporations out there willingly give to the government, so the government willingly gives to the people and pay for certain things like infrastructure, building a bullet train to have people in the rural areas go to cities to work, and they're paying rural area payments. Like, yo, that's smart. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like,
Yeah, I don't know a lot
yeah,
about China, and I be falling into a lot of the China's doing shit better. But then I'm like, I don't live there, so I don't really. But in a debate, I have used that. That what you're saying, I've used it in a debate. But
yeah,
when I step out the debate and I think about personally, and I think about personal freedom and what it means to be a human, there's a lot of questions I got on, like, where do you draw the line between order and someone say chaos? There's a lot of questions I got on, like, and someone say chaos, but someone say like freedom or independence, right?
right.
And it's a hard question to answer.
Well, yeah,
Because and someone say cat,
right.
and it's
Well, yeah,
because I don't think there is a right answer. I think we're all like seeing different versions of what the human experience is, and what how you describe manipulation or order, or a functional society. But again, like, this is a whole big experiment. A functional society, but and I don't know if there's a optimal solution. It's just like something that happens over time. Like, humanity has progressed. There's a optimal solution. It's just has progressed in some areas, regressed in others. And I think one of the beauties of humans is we're always trying to improve. We're always trying to do better. We're always trying to change. It's not always going to go the right way. And I think one of the beauties of humans is we're always better. We're always trying to change. It's not always going to go the right way, but I think we're adaptable, which is what makes us so intelligent. And I speak for generally the broad, like, not every human is intelligent. Some people just go with the flow, which is what makes us so. Every human is intelligent. Some people just go with the flow and don't question the reality they're in, or circumstances they're in. Some people don't try to change. They just go with it. But I hear humans intelligent. Some people just go with the flow. Circumstances are in. Some people hear what you're saying, man. But
yeah.
I my feelings. I don't. It's a
No,
question. I still, I don't
I
know.
get it, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like me on my side, I say that order is more important than freedom, because if you give a bunch of people, me on my side, I say that than freedom, because if you give a bunch of people too much freedom, they're gonna take advantage of it and bad things happen. Like, for example,
there is just bad men. So these men might take advantage and bad things happen. Like for example, bad men. So these men might take advantage of women if there's not an order in place to stop them from taking advantage of women because of their how their brain works and their lust
Yeah.
and how they might be wired. So you know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
what stops a person from their lust
Yeah.
and how they stops a person from seeing another person with certain things, envying that person, and then taking from that person. So
Yep.
obviously,
Yep.
we need rules in place and stops a person from envying that person and then taking from that. We need rules in place and certain things in place to stop certain things because there are bad seeds out there. Like I said, there is bad coding and bad wires out there. So we got to have certain things in place for that to minimize that. And if you put too much freedom, bad seeds out there. Like I said, there is bad for that to minimize that. That doesn't minimize it, optimizes that. It brings it up. You see what I'm saying?
No, I hear. Listen,
It optimizes that. It
no, I hear. Listen, you say the same thing. Yeah, we say the same thing. But you have more conviction in it. Yeah, I still am not. I go. It's not that easy, man. I hear what you said. You're not. No, I hear. Listen, I still am not. I go
yeah.
wrong either. Like all the points you made are right, but I still, it's like how far do you go?
Facts,
And
yeah.
if what's right for you, is it right for the next person? You know what I mean? Like having a certain strict order may constrain or may inhibit some good things that someone's able to do. Like, because if we're always this, and I'm not saying that like because men have proven to be very dangerous throughout history. Very destructive to their environments, even themselves. I'm not saying that like because to their environments, even themselves. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
just went through an experience, yo. My wife, bro. If it wasn't for her, bro, I don't even know if I'd be living. Like you know what I'm
Damn.
saying? Like she keeps me alive. You know what I'm
Fact.
saying? And so I hear what you're saying, man.
Nah, that's a fact. Hey, it's crazy because the one thing I go back to is World War Z, bro. I look at it like that when the movie
And so I hear what you're saying, man.
go back to is World War Z, bro. I look at it like that when the movie, when the dude he was talking to the one dude, he was like, "Yeah, how did these different countries, how did they survive the apocalypse?" And he said, "Well, if you look at North Korea, what did they do? They took out the teeth of all their citizens. So now nobody, how did they survive the apocalypse? Took out the teeth of all their citizens can bite. Nobody has teeth or nails to scratch or bite. So who's getting affected?" I was like, yo, what? That's insane. Like, but I don't. But who wants their teeth taken out though? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
No, no, see, that's too
But
far, man.
then, do you want to survive though? That begs the question. That's what I'm
We
saying.
have
So
other options, bro. We don't gotta go that far. We
yeah,
got
yeah.
other
Because if you
options.
look at another country, they survive though. That begs the question. You look at another country, they built a dome. So yeah, you can build a dome instead of taking the teeth out your people. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Build a dome instead of taking the teeth. How far would you go? How far would you go?
We need to fight about something. Not me and you. I'm just saying in general. We need a debate, a fight. We need a controversial topic uh, to rile up people's passions. Yeah, we're not gonna ban all guns. It's not gonna happen, T-Bone. I'm sorry. Uh, uh, the Democrats, I don't even know. Trump is fucking up everything. It's crazy. I hear more people say it every day. You know, it's crazy. I hear more people say it every day. You know, and they act like they were surprised he was gonna fuck up. Like, how are you surprised that 8-time bankrupt motherfucker's gonna fuck up again? And I'm bankrupt motherfucker's gonna fuck up again. Like, that's his MO is fucking up. Sorry. Sorry, you
Oh,
missed the first fucking 8 times.
I think it's the tiny
Oh,
hats, and he just listening to him.
come on, bro. We gotta get ill. I'm not even gonna tell you how to feel, but just blame. Let's do it. I think that's too simple, and it's like
just listening to him.
But just blame. Let's do it.
No, I'm not blaming him.
It's a
You got to look at
distraction.
the
It's like
evidence, twin.
shit. But it's come on, man. We gotta be. We gotta be better than that. We can't.
Bro, Tony, why did Obama give Israel $38 billion for the next?
We gotta be.
Tony, why did Obama give Israel 5 years?
Bro?
It doesn't make sense.
Because it was the history of America to give Israel shit. I'm not saying it's right, but it's
look
not
how many homeless people we got. Go to California, Dallas, LA, or Florida, bro. No, that doesn't make sense. If anything, if I was president, first off, before I give somebody 38 billion, if you take 38 billion and just give a relief fund to everybody, that'll help a lot. Or take 38 billion and build some refugee camps or camps for the homeless so they can eat.
I want to ask you a question. And don't take anything I say the wrong way. Real shit.
No,
you sound like a young man, right? And I hear a lot of young people drawing the same sort of conclusions as you. Not to say it's not real shit. You sound like drawing the same sort of conclusions. Valid or none? I don't agree with it, but I don't want to take away from your opinion. Is what I'm saying. But I am really curious as to how this way of thinking, valid or none. I don't agree. Curious as to how this way of thinking has gotten so popular. I'm 44, so like a lot of the stuff that I've learned or been introduced or maybe introduced to like right now, I don't see what y'all are seeing. And I'm surprised that this is such a popular way of thinking. You know what I mean? How are you getting this information?
So I got you. So basically what
I'm surprised that this is such a popular information.
So I got you. So basically what happens is you do certain things, right? So like, for example, I would go on different platforms and what happens is you do platforms and you would hear the YT people saying the N word all the time. You would hear black people saying the C word all the time. You're going to hear people saying platforms and N word all the time. You would hear black words to everybody. But as soon as you say one to that group of people, they get banned. It's over with to everybody. But they get banned. It's over with. You get silenced. And you like, whoa, at first you just brush it off. You're like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then certain things start get banned. It's over. And you like, whoa, at first you just brush it off. But then certain things start getting blatant. You like, wait, how they get to do this? Wait, that don't even make sense. And then you got people like that wants to investigate and that do this for a living. So you got this YouTuber. He went to New York in Jacksonville, where it's predominantly the tiny hat community, and recorded how they're living. And if you go watch that video, bro, it's like blatant going against everything that America stands for, bro. They're basically turning New York or New Jersey into their place. And it's insane. They have their own police. They have their own EMS. They have their own buses. And the buses doesn't even have English. It's their language on the buses. They have their own have English. It's in their language on the sign. When you drive, instead of it saying STOP, it's in their language. So the whole place is in their language. In their language on the sign. When you drive, the whole place is in their language. Then they have multiple kids. So they have like 10 to 12 kids, all of them. And think about the taxes you get. 12 times $2,000 every year on taxes. Then on top of that, they get houses, and they say that these houses are used for prayer. Guess what? That's a 501c. So you're getting tax reductions on getting a house. So instead of you paying 20,000 for the year, you're only paying 10. So you got an extra 10,000 to go invest or put into something. You see what I'm saying? So
okay, let me do a little bit devil's advocate, right?
20,000 for the extra 10,000 to go invest or
let me do a little bit devil's advocate right here, right? All these things, they're not the only group of people that are doing this or are able to do that, right? Like, so like there's other ethnic groups that are able to
because hold on, here's where they get you, right? Because this is where it got a little funky. These people, they took over the board of education in that place, in that area, and they took the funding from public schools and gave them to their private schools.
You're talking about in Brooklyn, yeah. I'm from New York,
state. The state came in and said, "Yo, y'all can't do this." Then there was a
tiny hat dude that went to the president, went to Trump himself and said, yo, in the DOJ and said, yo, tell them that they can't stop them from doing this, that is anti-Semitic. And the DOJ went to the state and said, y'all cannot do this because it's anti-Semitic. And the DOJ and said, yo, tell them that, hey, went to the state and said, y'all cannot, if you do this to these people, y'all can basically be liable and get arrested for anti-Semitic, breaking the law, federal law of being anti-Semitic. If you do this to these people, y'all can breaking the law, federal law of being anti-Semitic. I was like, yo, what?
Well, let me hold on. Let me speak on the first part. Like what that was wrong. Like taking the funding for public school. I agree because when I heard,
I was like, yo, what?
well, let me. That was wrong. Like taking the funding for public about that story. You know, I felt a certain type of way. I put that more on corruption and on like that those individuals that were in the school board who were prioritizing the schools that their kids was in to the detriment of the district that they should have been, you know, ensuring that all the schools were taken care of, not just the ones that they were in. So, but I don't put it on like because they are from a religion. I just think there's some power hungry people that only like think about how Brett Favre took the fucking Medicaid money just to build his new stadium for his daughter's school, like. But I don't put that on his religion. I just put that on him being like, you know, a little bit shady and being willfully ignorant of the needs of people who aren't directly in his family or are, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's right or justified, but there's a lot of evidence of people who do this and get away with it, you know?
But it can't be a coincidence that these people get to do it. And it's like, it's different because everybody else in America is getting extorted. They're doing the extorting and they're extorting the government and they're allowing it. They have their own police and are federally backed. Name me. They're doing the extorting and they're allowing it. They have their own police and are federally backed. Name me a different race that have their own, or a religion that has their own officers, police officers that are federally funded.
Native Americans.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
And the reason why Native Americans, you can't say
know
that
what tribal
because the
police
Native
are?
Americans are in tribes and they're not federally backed.
They have their own police though.
But they're not federally backed.
They get federal funding.
No,
Yeah, so most reservations are still owned by the federal government themselves. They're just like leased for a lifetime lease to the natives.
Right, but I'm saying, but I know that's not true because they had a incident on. I watched this video on YouTube where a police officer was trying to arrest a dude, but he was on the reservation, and they had a big argument about it, and all the chiefs had to get involved, and it was a big misconception thing. A police officer was trying to arrest him, and they had a big argument about it, and all over. So I know even with that, that's kind of like like it's kind of bad. But with their community, they're like right with them. They're on their side, like all over. So I know even with that, but with their community, they're like it's a big difference. So
I see what you're saying. I'm with you on what you're saying, but we do have communities that have their own police and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
But not the same. Yeah, exactly.
Like they have it differently. Like I seen it, but it's still they don't get the same. Like they have it differently. Like
a little personal, Master.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anyone from that ethnic group or religious group?
Oh yeah, and they tell me that what I'm saying is right, and that the people are not smart.
Not BB. You don't know BB, man.
I know BB. He's our president. What you mean?
All right, I got you. Come on, man. All right, but okay, so you know people, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And you think they're involved in this type of shit, or like they're in some way?
Well, I think they understand and know and see it, and they see that their people are like are basically, you know, on top, and I think they understand and know people are like they understand this and they know it, and they work together.
Let me ask you a
so
follow-up,
like for example,
real quick follow-up. Real quick, and you tell me, but like, so out of the number of people who you know, are they critical of it as well? Just maybe not as passionately, but are they?
For example,
real quick follow-up. No, are they critical of it as well? Just do they be like, yeah, that shit is fucked up, or do they dismiss it and act like you crazy when you talk about it?
Yeah, some of them, most of them dismiss it, but there's a few that tell me that they're going to dismiss it because they are basically they're brainwashed. That's what they kind of tell me, is that they're brainwashed, technically.
Because I know people, and they, just like you said, they go both ways. Some of them,
they're brainwashed. That's what they kind of tell me.
Because I know people, and they just ignore it, but some of them will call it out. And so I know that's not a monolith of thought in that particular group. I know that, I know that there's diversity of opinion, and sometimes they'll be critical in ways that I'm not comfortable being critical. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's hard for me to judge a whole group of people when I know that there's different opinions about these things.
Yeah, but that's what that's still hard to gas because that's like back then in slavery. That's like saying, yeah, there was people that didn't like us, but there was a few that did. But like, how do you distinguish the ones that don't if you see them participating in the riots against in our community? You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't even make sense. Like, you can say you can say what you anything, but what I see is different. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't see you advocating, or you can say what you anything, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't see you advocating or trying to stand up. You actively helping your people. You can tell me whatever you want, but I know, bruh. That's what I'm saying, bruh. They smart, bruh. They real trying to stand up. You want, but I know, bruh. That's what I'm saying, bruh. They smart, bruh. They real smart. And that's why I say I can't really hate on them because I feel like more people should be like them. They're using the government to their advantage. They're really strong with their community because I feel like more people should be like them. Community, and they use the religion to do so. And if we, as black people especially, and even white people, if they did the same thing, they will be more successful in their communities. This is my belief. So it's not hate on them, but I just know that they have, just like you see how they got into the school district. This is my belief. So they have, just like they're doing the same thing in the government, bro. That's what I'm saying. They easily get into the government, then get into media, get into strategic places, and then boom, now they have control over what they need to have control over.
Can I ask you another question? And this is a little conspiracy.
Media, get into strategic, have control over.
Can I ask you another question? And this is a little conspiracy, right? But is it possible that there is a group of people that wants you to believe this, but is really the ones responsible for the issues that we see?
Yeah, and that's will be that exactly, and that's them because if you ask most,
but is
that will be that exactly, and that's
you think it's no,
because hold on,
no, not them, another group of people.
No, but see, this is what I'm saying. Right, they're the ones doing that.
They want you to believe this story that it's just these people. That's
right. That they're doing that. This is what I'm saying. Right.
This story that is just these people. That's
right. They're doing that because if you go to anybody that's brainwashed, like if you go to a like for example, I had a debate with this dude named CBS. And you can brainwash. Like if you go to a that he watch a lot of news and that he read a lot of articles on like CNN, like you could just tell like any evidence he brought up was CNN and all this. So I'm like, bro, like you're brainwashed, bro. And his problem, he's saying everything that was happening in America, he's saying that it was the Muslims. He said the Muslims are the one doing everything. And I'm like, bro, that's not true because America's not sending Muslim countries millions of dollars. If anything, they're BOMBing those countries. We're sending Israel the billions of dollars. That's not true because dollars? If anything, they're BOMB. And he's like, no, that's not true. It's the Muslims. They're the problem. They're trying to come to America, start their religion over here and take over America. Da 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 da. And I'm like, bro, there's no Muslim religions over here that's taking over. If anything, it's them. They trying to come to America. But there's no Muslim religions over here. Got their own police. You don't see Muslims with their own police officers that's only enforcing them and getting them. And if somebody else come in their community, then the Muslim police gonna come get you. No, that's not happening. But in that community, if you go to the Tiny Hat community and you act up, the Tiny Hat police can come get you, bro. No, that's not happening. But in the Tiny Hat police, they can get you legally, lock you up, put you in handcuffs, bro. Like, go, all right, you think it's a game, right? That's what I'm trying to tell you, Tony.
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think I could. I'm trying to get you to think different, but you a strong-minded man, and I respect it. My whole thing is against I'm against prejudice, but you a strong-minded man. My whole thing is against I'm against bigotry in all forms. I'm not calling this that, but what I'm saying is, I try. This is me personally. I try not to make broad generalizations on groups. Calling this that, but what I'm saying is, personally, I try not to the people. I tend to treat people as individuals, and not to say that there aren't issues that that we can identify as maybe corruption or just mistreatment or just but it's like me personally, I try not to say that there aren't issues, just mistreatment or just try to be the person that I want that that I wish the world existed, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I can't think like you think. I just can't do it. That I wish the world existed. I can't, bro. I can't even bring myself
I can because
to
and the
even.
biggest reason why I can, bro, is because they did it to us on mass levels. If you go, bro, just do your research, twin. If this is not being bigotry, if you just going and looking up who owns most of the media companies, like look up who owns them and then go to their names and then look up their autobiography and look up where don't look up where they come from, because a lot of them would say America, but they won't say that they're from that country. So you got to look up where their parents and then go to their names and then look up their autobiography, where they come from, because a lot of them would say America from that country. So you got to look up where their parents are from, and it's going to tell you from Israel. All of them are going to say Israel. All the media CEOs, the people that own the media, the people that instruct the people that, well, this is what we're going to put on the media. The what are they called? The PRs. They're all the media CEOs that put on the media. The what are the tiny hat community to it, and it's crazy because they put out a lot of fake videos, AI. They use AI and all this stuff to put out a lot of videos and stereotype the tiny hat community to it, and it's use AI and all this stuff to put out a lot of different people, and they stereotype China. They made China look like it's most people that this is AI and all this stuff to put out a lot of different people, and they stereotype China. They made China look like it's most people that just doesn't do their research or go outside the country. They're going to look at China like a third world country. Same as Mexico. They're going to see, oh, what is Mexico? Oh, it's a bunch of rug dealers. Like it's a bunch of propaganda spit by them, and they looked at us
No, I
as
got you. Hold
enemies. You
on,
see what
I
I'm
got to
saying?
step away from the conversation for a couple minutes, so I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna be here.
Bunch of
Stepping away for a
propaganda
little bit,
spit
right?
by them,
I
and
a
they.
couple minutes, so I'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna be here, but I can't talk. Hold on.
All right, bet. But yeah, bro, like, all right, bet. What's up, Sean? Nah, bro, I ain't going for that, bro, because evidence show, bro. You can look at who in charge of what and who doing what, and it'll tell you. It'll show, like, you can't say it's biasness if they're running all these important things. Just like and what and who doing what, and say is biasness if just like in the Jacksonville community, they didn't go be the CEO of or the administrator of the trash company or the apartments. They went and got control of the board of education in that county and then funded their private schools and defunded the education in that county, private schools, and defunded the public schools and had the public schools shut down. And guess what? If you're not a part of their community, you can't go to their private school. So how is that even legal? The schools and defunded the not a part of their community, you can't go to their private school. And then when the state tried to stop them, the DOJ came and said, y'all can't stop them. Who else is doing that? That doesn't even make sense. And it's not even legal. So yeah, bro, if you don't believe they run this stuff, bro, yeah. Because that's just a small scale. Imagine that on a large scale. You see what I'm saying, Marcel, bro? Come on. If you don't believe they run this stuff, bro, large scale. You see what I'm saying, Marcel, bro? Come on.
Yeah, bro. Fucking, you know about the e-files?
No, that's even worse. Scale. You see what I'm saying, Marcel, bro? Come on.
Fucking, you know, I was about to say the rumor is that, he was a Mossad agent and he was like collecting blackmail on elite politicians and whatnot. And he was working for Israel. So, I mean, I don't think you're too far off. Obviously.
But if you and think about it,
And
when
now
you say
we are
that's
dragged into a war.
right,
And
and
it's
think about it, you could
Israel's
say it's
interest
a
more than us.
conspiracy theory, but look at what's happening. We're sending them.
And
When
now
you say
we are
that's
dragged into a war.
what's happening, we're sending them. Already sent them 230 billion.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some shady shit going on with their government.
And you can't say it's just Trump because Obama sent him signed a deal to send 38 billion. Joe Biden, Kamala, her husband is Tiny Hat. If
For
you didn't
real.
know,
But you know what they didn't do? They did not send the bunker buster to Iran. They refused. Obama and Joe Biden, they weren't going to war with Iran or sending BOMBs to Iran. And then now that Trump's in office, they asked him.
Yeah,
I
because they
mean,
had more
and he
blackmail
did it
on
exactly. And
him.
that just shows either there's blackmail or he's just straight up involved with them. I mean,
And
he's our first Jewish president, so I mean, I wouldn't say it's completely out of the picture.
and think about it. You can't say that Israel's the same because look at Ukraine. Ukraine and Israel has the same amount of play in this, right? They're the same
Mm,
pawn. So, but guess what? We're not going and helping Ukraine get Russia because they don't have any. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Israel is smart, bro. They're smart. They know what they're
exactly. They
doing.
don't have any leverage against us for real.
Exactly. And if anything, we got the leverage. So Ukraine's just messed up in the, you
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? In a bunch. Like there's nothing they can do. But Israel, they smart. They got their leverage first. So now they control America based off on the leverage they have. And this is just common sense. Like leverage is common. Like I don't think people understand the common things like leverage, how it works. Leverage doesn't just work in finance. It also works. Like I don't think people understand the works. Leverage doesn't just work in finance. It also works in power and political things as well.
Oh yeah, and if people don't think that other gov
Things as well.
oh yeah, think that other governments like have like how other governments have their CIA, whatever it's called, and they don't send people over here to try to sway people politically or get involved, whatever it's called, and politically or get involved with the politics to get an outcome that benefits their country. Like you're just silly if you don't think they do stuff like that because we do it to politically or get an outcome that benefits their country. They do stuff like that because we do it to other countries.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's crazy, and I feel like America need to come together, and we need.
Other countries.
I'm saying, bro. It's crazy. America need to come together, and we need to stop the shenanigans. Give our American citizens billions of dollars, and take the money from the corporations. Give more American citizens billions of dollars, and after that, I mean, honestly, you're good. I mean, there's nothing else to really do. People gonna work. Most people gonna be happy because they can afford things. They can actually go do things again. More businesses will come up because now you can have more people that have free time to be able to go and do other things and not just be working all day and paying rent. Don't have enough money to do things. So now I can start a different business, do other things, and not just be working. I can start a different business, a restaurant or a movie business or anything because there's people that got money and can willing to go out and spend money to go do these things because they have to start a different business or anything because there's people that have extra money to do it. But if we're finessing and extorting and taking all the money and people don't have money and they're barely can pay rent, they're not going to be going places and the extra money to do it. But if we're taking all the money and people don't have money and all these companies are going to be losing money and companies stocks and all this will go down and guess who's going to get rich at the end of the day? The rich people. So, I mean,
Yeah, the rich are gonna stay getting richer, and the poor are gonna stay getting poorer
yeah.
unless
And they say they can't
something
change it, but they
changes.
can. Just give us billions. That's all they got to do is just give people money. Because even if you give billions out, it's going to be split up into chunks. So like everybody might get like 2,000 every. Like you could just do it 3 times a month. 3 times a month, everybody getting sent 2,000. Every single person in America that has a U.S. citizen or a social and a birth certificate. You got to submit all that, and then you'll be qualified, and then you get 2,000 3 times a year.
I
You
think
gotta submit all that 3 times a year.
I think we should just make a requirement that minimum wage always keeps up with inflation. A requirement that minimum wage, because then if minimum wage would keep up with inflation, then everyone would be able to afford a house again and do the things they
Yeah,
want
but
to
see,
do.
you can't really do that because then it's gonna mess up the flow of how everything works. But the better way and how China does it is to implement like a fast transportation, like the bullet train. So if you got the bullet train and people can go from, let's say I live in Louisiana in a rural area and my rent is only $600 and I can go to California in an hour or two to go to work, then I can get paid $23 an hour. I can make almost $10,000 a month. But I'm living in a place where my rent is $600 a month. You see what I'm saying?
And you don't got to spend money on gas.
Exactly.
So you don't got all the extra expenses.
Exactly. So now you got extra money to invest and put into different things like stocks and other things, side hustles, or start a business. Because again, if you allocate the money properly, most people gonna have more money to buy from businesses, and then it'll give the basically the avocation for people to start more businesses. And so you can work and still have a business. Like you can be a boss and still work. Like it's not. I don't get how people.
Yeah, you can work for your own company if you want to. You can pay yourself.
Exactly. Like you can have a side hustle and still work somewhere. So I mean, yeah, during Patreon you can just give money out. They're not gonna do it, but you
Trump
can just give
literally
money
did
out.
it his last
Yeah, they
time.
did it, but I'm saying they can do it in different forms. Like they can give money out far as bonds, like they can give investments out. Everybody get a piece of a stock. Like they can create a US stock where all our taxes go to or something, and then they say everybody get a chunk of your they should have been doing that. Everybody get pieces of their tax where we pay our taxes. That doesn't even make sense. The only time they give our money back is during tax season with the tax refund. But we need
And
I
that's because
think
you
we need
overpaid.
that's what I'm saying. I think we need two more of those. I think we need a tax refund 3 times a year. That's what I'm saying. That way it gives people an edge and being able to get ahead, start businesses. And other people will have money to buy from these businesses. We need tax refunds 3 times a year. Money to buy from these businesses a year. The facts. Or something. They gotta figure something out because it's not looking pretty right now. Nobody can afford a year. It's not looking pretty right. House. Yeah, bro. Hell no. Inflation happens when they keep printing this money and it's not backed by anything and we go into debt. Yeah, bro. Hell no. Inflation happens when they keep printing this thing and we go into debt.
Need to go back to the gold standard.
We can't do that either. It's already over with. We might have to just go to a whole different. We can't do that either. A whole different currency. Because they don't even have enough gold for all the money that in debt that they have. Because they've just
For
been
sure.
printing invisible, non-existent money that's backed by nothing.
Trump
By the faith of
ran
the
on
people.
auditing Fort Knox and then it never happened.
Yeah, bro. It's
Where
over
they
with.
supposedly keep a bunch of gold in an army base.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's why they don't want.
Pushing back. I've been doing it politely though. I wasn't, because
Army base.
pushing back. I've been doing it politely though. I wasn't, because I enjoy speaking to Master. So I wasn't. I'm gonna because Sean here would be like other times I'll be more aggressive. But you seem like a master. So I wasn't. I'm gonna because more aggressive. But you seem like a good dude. So I haven't been really, going at you like that. We just been having a discussion. Yeah, because Shawnee's trying to call me out on what you was saying. But tell him we was having a little back and forth, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah, because Shawnee's trying to call me having a little back and forth, right? Respectful one, a respectful one. No name calling, no derogatory words being used.
No, fact. Yeah, we just good cordial.
Respectful one, a respectful.
No, fact. Yeah, we just good cordial conversation.
I mean, Tony did kind of push back, though. He said he could never bring himself to think. I mean, Tony did kind of push back himself to think like that. So, I mean, he already made it clear that he doesn't agree with what you're saying. So, I mean, he doesn't agree with what you're saying.
Facts. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna push anybody to go, think like that. But I just know what's going on, bro. I'm not allow these people. And like I said, just let time flow. And as time go on, I don't even want to be right. I just want people to just know the information. There's a lot of misinformation out here, and I just put what I get from the world. I put my 2 and 2 together, and if in the future my 2 and 2 start becoming more evident, then you know what I'm saying. Then at least I told you, and you gotta understand like, oh, this dude did say something about these people. So if it come out later on that it is actually facts what I'm saying, then you prepare. You're not like, oh, what the.
Aren't you? Those you fucked up, man. Come on. Hey, yo, but hold on. Here I give you an example, right? Like, you know how they say, like, because they do the same shit to us. They'll be like, yo, black people are responsible for all the crime. We know that's not true. Like, we know that we're highlighted in certain areas, but, we're just people, right? And any person is capable of crime, just like any person is capable of corruption. Any person is capable. We're just people, right? Any person is capable of manipulation, and it doesn't come from your religious faith, like sometimes, and I feel like using that is like an excuse, it's too easy. A lot of people fucked up, no matter where they're from or what they believe. Oh shit, hold on.
Nah, I
It's too easy. Fucked up, no matter where they're from or what.
don't think it's your religion. I don't think it's your faith. But the only thing about the faith with them is they use it to hide behind certain things, like the word anti-Semitic. They would use, so you can't really criticize or say anything about that community because then they would say, "Oh, that's anti-Semitic," and then they can sue you legally for anti-Semitic. But then if you look at us, if some just so why a YT person can just say the N word all day long and anti-Semitic. So why a YT person, it's okay. You see what I'm saying? So like, and vice versa, a black person can say, call them a slur all day long, and it's okay. But as soon as a white, black, Asian say something to a tiny hat slur, it's over. So yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. They the problem, bro. I don't know how y'all don't know this.
I mean, I feel like it's more.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, I feel like it's more obvious now than it.
Boys,
I think
exactly.
people have been saying this. Like, this was a conspiracy theory, but now, I mean, I feel like it's more.
Boys,
I think
exactly.
people have been. It's kind of obvious that there's some shady shit going on with that government.
For 100%, the Federal Reserves. If you look at who, look up. This is what I want you to look up. Look up who basically helped or with the president, who helped the president start the Federal Reserves. It was a tiny hat. So the tiny hat was right with the president, Federal Reserves. It's right with the president and basically was probably in his ear like, yo, we need to do this. And he's like, all right. And boom, Federal Reserves took our money off the gold standard. Right with the president in his ear like, yo, we need to do this. And he's like, all right. Backed by the faith of the people and the faith of the world. Boom, print money. Yeah, we can print money backed by the faith of the people. Yeah, we can print money, extort these people, give the corporations and a few YT people hella money, and then just send the rest of the bread to us. Yeah, we can print money, corporations and a few YT people. We good. Like, yeah, bro. Hell no. We're the host. The host not here, twin. Spike.
So should we ban all pews?
Fuck no.
I was about to say.
Shit, matter of fact, they need to make it legal for me to buy military weaponry. I want a Apache helicopter.
Real quick, before we do all the conspiracy stuff, can you explain to
Yes,
me
he's
why they
back.
originally said that they were going to take off the gold standard?
Why we wanted to get taken off the gold standard?
The
I mean,
argument
yeah, they
outside of
can.
the
I mean, but
conspiracy
that's what I'm
theory, what's
saying.
the
That's
argument?
another thing. They can tell us what they want, but what I believe why they took us off.
What I did, that's not what I asked you. I said, can you tell me what the argument was?
Oh, the argument on why?
Yes. What is the argument?
I really don't know, honestly.
See, that's the problem with conspiracy theories. If you don't even understand the argument that they're making, how can you say it was a nefarious reason in the first place?
Well,
Simply because somebody is Jewish doesn't mean that they can't come up with a good idea, right?
well, no, it's not that. It's more of, well, they came up with the idea. It's not whether of the argument of it. They did it, and now what we're seeing of from what they did is declining, basically a declining
No, no, you.
community and extorting
That's
us
not true. That's
individually.
not true.
So corporations are not
That's not
extorting
true. You
people
okay?
in America.
So real quick. Hey, hold on one second. The gold standard doesn't change that.
Extorting
That's
us
not true. That's
individually.
not quick. Hey, hold on one second. The gold standard doesn't change that. That's
Yes, it
called
does,
capitalism.
because you can't print gold. You can print money if it's backed by the people.
Hey, okay. So
Correct or
here's
not?
the problem with your argument. You don't know why the gold standard was removed, so you can't even make. So
Correct or not?
here's the problem with your argument. You can argument a positive
I do know
argument
why.
for the
The
gold
reason it was
standard.
removed is so they
You
can print
don't
money
know.
at will. That's
No,
why.
no, that
Yes.
is not why.
Okay, tell
Okay,
us
so I'm
why
going to
then.
give you. Give you a math problem. Okay, if our money is based off of the gold standard and get based off of a commodity, and the value, and somehow somewhere in China they found $6 trillion in gold in a mine, what would have happened to the U.S. dollar?
It would
What
go
happened to its
down.
value? Okay, so how would you negate a situation like that from happening?
Well,
You
if
just
the
let it go
dollar is
down.
backed by gold, then our the U.S. dollar is gold. So then it would just be like you have a bunch of
And so then
American
the value
currency.
of
Right? No,
that
but hold
dollar
on.
would go
But
down.
hold on.
So
Either
wait,
I
so
see
then
what
the
he's
dollar of
saying.
that
Either
value would
way,
go down
but
because
hold on.
more.
Either way though, it's better because even if they found that gold, they're not going to be able to find mass amounts of gold all the time. Versus if you take it off the gold standard, they're able to print mass amounts of money anytime they feel. So that's still a problem.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again. What would happen to the U.S. dollar if that? I mean, if we were to try to stop the U.S. dollar's value from going down, if something like that were to happen, how will we do it?
Basically, we just let it happen. We have to let the value go down
No,
and just
again.
offset.
So if you were
Yes,
no,
that's
if
how we
you
would
wanted
do
to,
it.
if you
China's
said,
doing
"Hey,
it.
listen," so if you were in a situation and where you said, "Hey, our dollar is," please go look, guys, go make sure you go look at all of them. Go look. You didn't go now. Go look. So if you were to look at the, if you were to look,
Hmm.
right? So again, the situation that you're presenting is not true. The reason why they took us off the gold standard is because of issues with volatility. If you want your dollar to be more stable, you take it away from a commodity because commodities are more volatile. Do you understand that? That's
Yeah,
why
I
it
get
works.
that, but it's
And the fact
still.
that you can't, the fact that you couldn't identify that in the first place is a problem.
Yeah, but hold on.
Properly
But see,
flushed
I
out
get
your
what you're
theory.
saying, and but see, this is still a problem though because that's a finesse. So they're telling us the reason we have to take you off the gold standard is because of volatility. But then on the other hand, once they take you off the gold standard and they can control it, because when they take you off, it's not backed by anything, so it's backed by our
That's not
faith.
true.
So
Well,
what
hold on
is
a
money
second. Hold
backed
on a
by?
second. Hold on a second. How does gold have value?
Is It's scarce. What you mean? It's not a
No.
lot of
Why does it have
gold out in
value?
the world
Why do
that we're able to
diamonds
get.
and gold have value?
Why do
Why do
what?
diamonds and gold have value? Why do they have value?
Because of scarcity.
No, I'm saying okay. So
And
why
it's a
again?
resource. I
So
mean, you
just
can.
because it is, just because you believe it's rare.
Yeah,
So just because you
it's
believe
a
it's
rare
rare, so
resource.
gold
I
would have
mean,
no value.
no, this is
So
why
gold would have no value
metals and
if we
steel, all
found
that has
that.
value because they're
Listen, hold on
resources
one second.
and they're
If we
scarce.
if we found no, if we found if we found a mine with uh, 1,000,000 pounds of gold in it, right? Would that
Hmm.
now mean that gold has no value?
No, gold still has a value. I don't. There's still only a
Okay, so
limited.
what
Hold
is
on, but see, here's the problem. There's still only a limited supply of gold on the earth. So the only
okay? So
way
you're running
hold on, the
directly into
only
the
way it wouldn't
problem.
have a
You're
value
running
is if there's
directly into
an
the problem.
unlimited
So why
amount
wouldn't
of
we just
gold.
use nickel?
That's the problem.
Sean,
Why wouldn't we just attach the value of the dollar to nickel? Why not
Sh-
that?
To
Sean, let
what?
me ask you.
Nickel?
Shawnee
Hold on
boy,
one second. Hold on one
Because
second.
there's more
let me
nickel
ask you a
than
question.
there is
Dom,
gold.
I'm
I'm
gonna
on your
finish this
side on
conversation
That's
with
this.
you,
why.
man. Okay, so let's
I'm on
think
your
about
side on this one, Shawnee boy. Let me ask you a question real quick. What's more valuable? Something that you can look at and admire, or something that the entire world needs?
something that the entire world needs.
Right, correct. So while we're not officially backed by oil, we are backed by oil because we made treaties with all these countries in order for them to use dollars in their exchange. So everybody has to use our dollars to exchange this product.
Right, backed by the faith of the people. So if people stop using dollars to buy oil, what happens? The same thing, correct?
What do you
So
The
what do you
rather
mean
same.
by that?
exactly. So the dollar can crash if it's backed by the faith, but if it's backed by
What if
gold, it
stuff?
can't crash
Wait,
unless two
but
things happen. Hold on. Unless two things happen, their gold disappears off the planet Earth, or there's unlimited amounts of gold that somebody found. You could just make gold out of thin air. But and other than that,
no,
gold will
or
always
people,
have
or
a
what if this? Wait, hold on one second.
value.
What if I found out that I can create a element that reacts, acts, and looks just like gold, but it's not gold?
Exact. Then the value would crash. Just like if people
Then the
stop
value of
using
gold.
money to buy oil, the
It's
value would
based.
crash.
So
It's
it's
the same
based
thing.
on faith. So it's based on faith. So then
No,
you
it's
don't have a
not.
problem with
Whoa, whoa,
fiat
whoa.
currency.
You whoa,
It literally
hold on.
is.
You just
It,
came
it,
up
You
with
only value gold because you believe that it is valuable.
no,
No, it is
it's
Do you
valuable.
understand?
hold
We
on,
need it.
stop.
The
The
whole
reason it's
world needs
value
it.
is
Listen,
because it's a
we're gonna
resource and
replay
it's
that one more time.
scarce.
We're gonna re.
It's not because it's
That's
valued
why
by
the
people.
dollar
No,
is valuable,
stop it.
not
Stop.
gold.
Hold on one second. Stop. Stop.
Oh
Stop.
my.
Stop. Stop. And so, if you said, "Hey, just because something is rare doesn't mean that it is valuable," then what?
That is the case. If it's rare, it's valuable. That's why
Okay.
supercars.
So okay. So
If you
Chevy.
make
All right.
three of a
So okay.
production of a
No.
car,
No.
it's
No.
more
No.
valuable than a car that
Uh
makes
huh.
a billion of them.
Okay.
This is
So you're
common
telling me
sense.
So you're telling me that a 1995. So you're telling me a 1995 Chevy Cavalier is valuable these days?
Yes,
Yes,
probably.
if it's rare, if there's not that many driving, and you have the
And
only
see,
one in the
that's the
world, it's gonna
embarrassing
be
part.
rare.
This is what
So
I mean when
yes,
I say y'all too young. That's not true.
bro,
Just because it's
what,
rare doesn't mean it's worth money. Who told you that?
bro?
That is true.
So if so, hold on. So if I
Now that
have
is often a place of supply and
So,
demand, but you have
so
to have a
can I ask you a
demand even if
question?
you have a low supply. Somebody has
When,
to want it.
whenever you can mass produce something, does that make the value go down?
What did you say?
Whenever you can mass produce something, the value of it goes down, right?
not
No,
necessarily.
that's not true. That's not true.
That's not true.
No.
Not
So
true.
if gold, so gold is like what, 6,000 an ounce right now?
Again, it's y'all just don't even try.
So
Okay.
if you could all
So
of a
again,
sudden mass produce
something is
gold,
only
if you could all of
valuable.
a
Listen,
sudden mass
something is
produce
only
gold, the price
valuable.
wouldn't go down.
The price would go down
Oh,
if
okay.
you
So
could
then,
artificially
if
produce
you
it.
can mass
But that
produce
doesn't mean
something,
that's because gold
right?
has a perception of
So
what
then
it
it's
is,
not
right? So
rare
again,
anymore.
so let's
Once you can mass
listen.
produce
I'm gonna
gold, it
holler at
wouldn't
you.
be rare
I'm gonna holler
anymore.
at
So
y'all.
then it would
yo,
lose
Dr.
value.
Thumb, oil. Guess what? Oil. There's not unlimited amounts of oil. Oil is value. Hold on. Oil is valuable because oil is rare. You see what I'm saying? It's not valuable because people believe oil is some. We just like
Wait a
oil.
minute. Can you give me a cutoff date?
I don't know. Whenever we use, I know America only has what oil reserve. We only got how much of it?
The
Well,
75%
oil
left.
reserve
there's
doesn't mean that we're
there's
running out of it.
synthetic
It just means
oil
that we
now, right?
put.
So
But
can't we
okay,
make
if
Hold on
there's
a
unlimited
second.
amounts of oil, why are we buying oil from other countries?
One second. It's the type of oil that we buy, but we also produce plenty of oil. We
Okay,
have
then
Alaska reserves. We have
why did Trump say that
South
we're going to start
Dakota,
drilling
Texas.
our oil? Then why haven't we been drilling our oil?
We have to. It has to be in a certain range of monetary, because like if it goes below $60 a barrel, it's not worth digging it out of the ground. Basically,
Wait, so you're saying the reason they're not getting all the oil is because they don't want
they
the
are
oil
getting
to
all the
become
oil.
worthless?
What do you mean they are getting all the oil? They're
But Trump just said that they're going to
producing
start
more
drilling
oil.
oil. So how are they getting all the
They're
oil if they
producing
haven't
more
been
oil
drilling
today
oil?
than
I'm
they ever
confused.
have. What do you mean?
I'm so confused. So are
They're
they getting
producing
oil or not?
more oil
Mhm.
today than they ever have.
who is the
The United
U.S.?
States.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And where did we get it from? Our land or other
Can't we
lands?
Yes.
make oil in a lab now since it's synthetic?
No.
We
Not
can't
all
just
of it.
mass produce synthetic oil.
So you gotta realize that oil has a lot of byproducts like gasoline, plastics, all types
Gasoline
of
is
stuff.
oil. It's like
It,
15%.
yes, it's a byproduct of. I understand this. Yeah, after you refine it, it turns into gasoline, right? And then you have other byproducts that come off of that, don't you?
Right.
Right, like polyester, synthetics, all types of stuff.
Real
Petroleum.
quick, before you go,
Your shoes.
if we could create some type of synthetic oil,
We
right, in
do.
a factory that doesn't come out. No, listen, I'm talking. If we could create some type of synthetic oil
Hmm.
and an electric car, right, and we could produce electric cars at a high rate that get 500 miles to a charge, would gasoline have less value or the same value it has
It'd
now?
have less value
It
as
would
long
have
as we
very
were
less value.
producing.
It has less.
Yeah, as long as we were producing
So
enough
my point that
electricity.
I'm making is things are only valuable to people when they find them valuable. That's why
I
I
don't
asked
I
the
don't
question
think
about
that's
That's
the
no,
case.
'66
that's not
Cavalier.
true.
I don't
So
think
can
that's
we
the
That is
case
hold on a
because
second?
we already have electric
All,
That is
all
cars
you
and
have
you
literally
to
have
not
to
do.
valuable.
literally
It's
stop
not
and
true
wait
because
to
if you
charge them
need
back
something
up.
to do something, then it's going to be valuable. If I need a tool, then that tool is valuable, and I can sell that tool to other people because you need it to do something.
And then
Right, right.
and
So
It's
so
not
then
just, oh, I
hold on
once
like
one
you
this
second.
don't
tool, so it's
need it
valuable. That's not
because
how
we
that
don't
works.
value it anymore.
Yeah, hold on a second, Shawnee boy. Just 1 second. What can we do with gold? Let's make a list of things that we can do. We can look at it. We can wear it as jewelry. We can use it as in some type of computer application for contacts and stuff like that. Not very much though. And what else? Anything else?
Yeah, it's rare. That's the main part.
That okay? No. We're not talking about the rarity of it. We're
I
Yeah,
talking
but
think
about the
that's
mainly
uses of it.
electronics
but
is
we're
the
not
big
using.
thing.
The
But
electronic,
commodities
yeah, but
aren't
not.
used.
But how much do you use in electronics though? You
Not
don't
a
use very
lot.
much.
But that's
Right,
what I'm
right,
saying.
right.
But hold on,
Okay,
commodities
so
aren't
let's
used.
let's look at the applications that oil produces.
Yeah, a bunch.
It's basically a lot. We can't live without it currently right now. Our systems would go down. I mean, the clothes on your back, the shoes that you have, the tires on your vehicles, the vehicles themselves.
Right.
I
So that
mean,
would make more sense to back the money by oil then. But guess
that's
what? We
what
don't have a lot
basically
of
Isn't
that's
that.
that
what
what
we're
it is
doing.
though?
But no, it's not because we don't have a
We
lot
are.
of
We
it.
have
But
Other
plenty.
countries have more
that's
oil.
why all oil is traded in USD. So we're kind of
Exactly.
are backed
Yeah,
by the
but what
oil.
happens when you stop trading oil in USD?
No, we made it like that. We
But no,
forced everyone to do
what is
that.
bricks? What is bricks then?
Bricks?
Bricks
I
has
don't
been
know.
around for 30 years.
Okay, but what
What
is
does that
it?
matter?
What is
I don't
bricks?
know. I
It's
never heard of that.
they're
You
trying to
never
use
heard of
they're trying to
bricks?
use
No.
something else besides the U.S. dollar. Yes, we
Okay,
are.
so what happens if we stop using the US dollar? That's what
It'll
I'm
disrupt
Well,
nobody's
we
us.
are
answering that.
not,
I'm sure it will
and we're not
disrupt
going to
us, but
let
I don't think
anybody
it will
else stop
happen.
doing that if that ever happens.
So is y'all saying that if basically it would never happen that
But
people would stop using the US
didn't
dollar?
we also make the SOS strategic oil supply cryptocurrency or whatever?
I know what you're talking about, but no, I'm still stuck on this because y'all saying basically that the world would never stop using American money for oil, even
I'm
though
not
we're
saying
doing
that.
all the corruption across the world that we're doing right now for another country interests. And y'all
Can
believe
you can
that
you prove
these
that?
Middle Eastern countries are going to keep willingly using our dollar.
Can you prove that
Prove what?
that they're making us do this?
All for their interests?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can go through that
How can
rabbit
you
hole. I
prove
can
it?
definitely prove that to you. we can first start with the president himself. Yeah, we can definitely go
What
there.
about the
And how
president?
JD Vance said that if you vote for Trump, there would be no wars. We would not send our
Right. A
American
politician lying
teams
to you.
over there. And what
Oh my
happens?
God! It's the first time ever in the history of mankind a politician lying to you. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
wow, yeah. But why? Why
First
did
time
he
in
lie?
history.
I don't think he lied. I think he was. I think they were actually serious about it. But what changed their mind? That's the question that begs me. What
I
what
don't think
what did
anything
come
changed their
up that
mind. I think
changed their
this was
minds
planned.
for us to get into
I
this
think that this was planned from the get go.
plan
Get
from who?
Venezuela first. Get
Hmm.
Venezuela first over here on South American. One
And
of the
why did they do
largest.
that? What does
One
Venezuela
of the
has?
largest. One of the largest oil producing nations. Right.
Exactly, and they
Okay.
know
And
that if
and then
you.
Iran, because we
Hmm.
already have Iraq, right? Because if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, you can actually go back to the 50s in Kissinger. Henry Kissinger went around and got all these treaties with all these. They were nomads to be exact, and they went to the heads of those states and they got contracts, treaties to each and every one of them except for two. There's only two places that they did not get these contracts with. Do you know which ones they
Okay,
were?
so wait, but think about this. Listen to what you said. You said that we basically went and take not we didn't get it willingly. We went and forcibly taken a
We didn't
oil,
forcibly. We we
right?
we we
And
we,
then
we gave them money. We
right, and
gave them money. We gave them
Iran, what
so
did
much
Iran
money.
do? Iran
We
were
gave them
doing
so much
deals with
money.
who?
Look,
China. And
hold on a
China was
second.
getting barrels of oil for really cheap. And then now we doing
Sure.
something with them. And then now if just in case Iran or these Middle Eastern countries don't want to deal with us anymore, we guess what? We have Venezuela oil. So we don't have to, we can go without them for a little while until they get back right. Or we take them over. It's funny how that works.
And that's a bad
Right.
thing for you, United States? Is that a bad thing for the
Yeah,
world?
we're forcing
Iran's been
people.
sponsoring terrorism for how many years now? Since 1979?
That's propaganda.
Is it?
Yeah,
What's Hamas?
that's their reasoning on to the
What's
American people on
Hamas?
why they're
I know
doing what
it's.
they're doing.
I know
It's
you may think it's
terrorists.
the reasoning, but can you?
Yeah,
What's Hamas?
that's their reasoning.
Can you tell me what the T groups are?
All
And
of them.
there's actually confirmed cases of them actually sponsoring those T groups.
Wait, have
Yeah,
you
but
not seen Iran's Twitter? Like they wanna fuck us up.
Actually confirmed cases of them actually sponsoring.
Iran's Twitter, like they wanna fuck us up. They
bro,
are definitely
Iran's
terrorists.
Twitter. Come on, bro.
They are definitely terrorists, bro.
Bro, you know AI. You know how many AI accounts there are, bro.
They
Bro,
are definitely
Iran's
terrorists.
Twitter. Come on, bro.
They are definitely terrorists.
How many AI accounts there are, bro? And you
No,
talking
but
about
if
Iran
you think
Twitter, bro?
Iran is friendly towards us, I think that's just
I mean, I
ignorant.
wouldn't be friendly towards somebody that's picking on me either. What you mean?
But they
What
want
they do
to,
with the?
but they want to
Do you
hurt
know what
us
they did with
too.
their
So
hostages in the '79 when they
Bruh, but that's
captured?
disingenuous. Yeah,
When
America
they
went
captured those
over
Americans.
and forcefully messed up these countries, and then now we're saying, "Oh, look, they don't like us,"
That
and then
wasn't
we're trying to say
forcibly
that this
messed
is
up
the
from
reason why we're
nothing.
bullying them because they don't like us, bro. That's
Hold on a
disingenuous,
second.
y'all.
You had
Come
a.
on,
Do you even know the
come
history
on,
of
bro.
Iran?
Thank
Regardless,
you,
it doesn't
Tony.
matter.
And first of
What
all,
does that
yes, the
matter?
history of Iran, we took it over already. And the history of Iran, we took it over already. And it was, or not even that. We put somebody in there that was that had people in.
Control.
Why are we getting them now?
Do you not know the history of Iran?
Yeah, I just told you.
Okay, you're saying that we put the Ayatollah in command.
Okay, even if we didn't, let's say we didn't. Let's say we didn't. Why haven't?
Hold on a
Why?
second.
Hold on,
Could
but
you? No,
why?
no, no, no.
Why is
It's that.
America going after them now instead of
Hold on
40
a second.
years
Hold
back
on a
then?
second, because no other president has had the balls, in my opinion.
Oh,
Every
but Trump was already
everybody
in
else.
office.
Hold on a second. Everybody else has already said that, when what's her name was running, she said she would do the boom booms on Iran.
Who?
Hillary
Hillary?
Clinton said that. Those exact words. Didn't McCain say that too? Isn't there hold on, isn't there like a whole song with McCain doing it? Bom 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 bom.
But it's funny that Trump does it now when Israel has a problem, huh?
Well, I mean, we've had a problem. They weren't following that deal though. They weren't following that. They weren't following it.
See, and that's another excuse. Y'all trying to say that they were trying to do stuff, bro? No,
Okay,
y'all
what do you
can't.
use? What do you use? What do you use enriched? Hold on a second. What do you use? What do you use? Enriched uranium over at 60%. What is it? 60 whatever. What do you use that for?
But that's what I'm saying. What is evidence though? You haven't
that's
seen
not
it.
What is
enough for a
evidence?
nuke.
Yes, because they're
There's
telling
a
you
whole
this. You haven't
separate.
seen it, bro.
Hold
That's
on
what
a
I'm
second,
It's
saying.
sir.
60%
Sir.
depleted uranium. It's not even enough to make a nuke.
Right, but what is it not used for?
I
What?
mean, you like. I
Answer
mean, it's
the
used for.
Nuclear
I know
power
what you're saying.
plants.
It's used for
It's
making
too
nukes,
much
but
to use for nuclear power plants. So
oh.
hold on a
right,
second.
right.
So 1 second.
They only need 3%.
So 1 second. 1 second. When you have a separate, one 1 second. 1 second. So when you have a separate commission that's investigating them, that can
Right.
only go into places that they want them to go into. They can't go to the places that they where they're doing all of it at. But
Hiding
I'm
it.
gonna allow you to go here. So and the actual treaty that was signed during Obama's term was stating that they had to have open facilities.
Right,
Like
like we
you
have to
couldn't
know
just
about
hide
them.
this
Yeah.
stuff, right? So okay, you're going over the threshold that you need for nuclear power plants. Where does that go after that?
But that's what. How did they know that though? If they hiding it,
Tony, you can't use that for that though. That's not how that works. That's not how that works, guy. You can't from what I've read, Tony, you can't go backwards with this shit. So once you go to that point, it's no longer used for the nuclear power plants.
you said what?
Come on, Tony. Come on, Tony. Come on, bro. Really?
So
I'm
they
gonna.
enriched it that much just to let it go 60 years and
They
deplete?
enriched it to 60 until
Thinking for